Okay, welcome everybody to the Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium here in Canton, Ohio, as Campus Nation brings you the Findlay Oilers versus the Malone Pioneers. Guys, I'm joined here today by the Sports Planet crew. We've got Tim Fillinger, and we've got Greg Henning here, and of course, as always, Rick Phillips on the board. And so we're looking forward to this. This is our second visit to Tom Benson Stadium, and guys, it's always a pleasure to be here. What a fantastic facility. Of course, in the backdrop, you can see 77, and you can also see the Hall of Fame there. Rick, I'm going to have Rick adjust me here a little bit. It's now a little bit too soft there. So we will try to get that adjusted as we get on the air. Gentlemen, let's take a look. We're about 6 minutes away from kickoff. So I'm going to let these guys talk a little bit as we get into it. Findlay is 7-1, and then we have Malone 1-6. And let's take a look at the offense for the home team, the Malone Pioneers. And I'll turn that over to Tim Fillinger.
Yes, thank you for having me. First of all, it's an honor to be here. I'm really looking forward to this. Malone is coming off a win against Lake Erie College last week, their first win of the season. And their starting lineup tonight is at center, number 71, J.D. Stamper. At right guard, number 56, Brenson Ennis. At right tackle, number 72, Harrison Wolliver. At left guard, number 75, Israel Moore. At left tackle, number 77, Zach Hill. The wide receivers are number 81, Ian Elsas, number 19, Ashton Dolan. The tight end is number 87, Jeremy Gorby. The slot man is number 17, Dakota Hobbs. And the tailback tonight is number 42, John Zimmerly. The quarterback is number 6, Zane Bunnell.
Okay. And Greg Henning, our normal color guy here. We're doing the three-man ABC box here tonight. Greg will be doing the Findlay side of the ball. And Greg, why don't you talk about the Findlay University defense?
Yeah, coming in here at the Findlay University defense, the defensive ends, we have number 2, Johnny Hopkins, and number 19, Carter Blakeney. Defensive tackle, they have a rotation of 58, Grant Kinzinger, 69, Kyle Skidmore, and number 96, Kyle Gibson. The linebacking core, we have number 14, Tyler Long, number 10, Isaac Miles, and number 1, Justice Jenkins. In the secondary, we have corners, Tyler Lee and Chubuwaneki. I'm going to work on that all day today. Strong safety, we have Francis Kuchember. And then at free safety, we have number 3, Aaron Ivory, who is coming off last week where he interception return for a touchdown, his third one of the season, and he was named All-Conference Defensive Player of the Week.
I can see why. So let's take a look at the home team Malone defense. The Pioneers are led by defensive coordinator Zach Logan. And Tim, why don't you tell us who's going to be starting for the Pioneers tonight on the defensive side?
Okay, the Pioneers' starting defense is going to have at nose tackle number 18, Drew Shreve. A defensive tackle is number 99, Roy Johnson. Looks like a rush lineman is number 35, Matt Ramsey. Defensive end, number 15, Arrington Dolan. You got short side linebacker, number 24, DeWaylen Washington. Middle linebacker is number 47, Ryan Weber. And the wide side linebacker is number 10, Josh Correll. Your cornerbacks tonight are number 21, Daryl Gaddis, and number 25, Jordan Johnson. Your strong safety is number 20, Jalen Doss. And your free safety is number 5, Daniel TP.
Okay. And on the defensive side, Greg will give us what the Oilers defense looks like.
Offense.
The Oilers offense.
Yeah, the Oilers offense from left to right, we have number 54, Andrew Dickinson, 74, Andrew Allen, 53, Neil Davis, 68, Clay Colvin, and 67, Christian Olmstead. In the backfield, we have 2 running backs. Number 7, Duada Sila. Number 4, Mike Campbell. Tight end, number 86, Luke Stuffle. And at quarterback, number 11, Rice Gervais. And at the receiving core, we have number 5, Arion Kosick. Number 26, Jacob Alton. Number 8, Jason Moore. Number 24, Jacob Hill. And number 81, Andrew Ogletree.
Okay, we just had the toss here, and Findlay won and deferred. So the selection will go to, okay, we're going to get it here in a second as they switch sides of the field. Okay, Malone will be receiving, and as normal, then most likely we'll see the Oilers receive in the second half. The Pioneers will be moving from right to left if you're listening on WZAA 106.9 LPFM in Jeffersonville. And, of course, if you're watching on Campus Nation, you can figure that out for yourself. So we'll move forward to kickoff. Guys, Findlay comes in. This is the best start since 1997 when they won the national championship. So they have a lot riding on this in the Great Midwest Conference. Obviously, if they run the table here, most likely they've got a great shot at getting in the playoffs. And so what do you see as the keys for the Pioneers if they've got a shot here tonight to knock off a very good Findlay squad?
Well, I think, first of all, the Pioneers are going to have to try to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers. I think that's going to be key for them. And on their offense, one of their biggest playmakers is running back number 22, Xavier Garland, as well as wide receiver number 19, Ashton Dullen. Zane Bunnell has to have a good game at quarterback and get the ball in the hands of those 2 playmakers, as I see it, for the Pioneers to have a shot in this game.
Okay, and Greg, what about the Oilers? What do they have to do to try to go to 8-1?
They're just going to have to keep on keeping on. They're outscoring their opponents an average of 48-17. If they're able to continue that on their 6-game winning streak, they're going to come out victorious tonight.
Okay, so Findlay will be kicking and kicking off.
In winning streak, they're going to come out victorious tonight.
Uh-oh, and are we good? Okay. We've got the Findlay kicker is Chris Demir, and Demir will be kicking, excuse me, he'll be kicking off here. And he will be kicking to, it's a little pooch kick, drives it down to about the 19-yard line, and the Pioneers are able to get it up to the 30, and that's where they'll start operating.
We actually had a little change there at kicker. We had, instead of Demler, who is from Clinton, Massey, so we have a local product, we have actually number 82, Grant Loveridge, kicking off tonight for us. So little change there for the Findlay Oilers as they come out here in their 4-man front. Really looking up front on their defense. Look for Johnny Hopkins at defensive end and Justice Jenkins at middle linebacker to really cause some havoc for Malone.
Okay. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Bunnell in the shotgun. Hobbs comes in motion, a fake to Hobbs, and they give it to Xavier Garland. And Garland gets very little. Matter of fact, probably loses a yard. So we'll be looking at 2nd and 11 from the 29-yard line.
Yeah, Isaac Miles, nice job coming from his inside linebacker spot in the 4-2-5, shutting that down. We're not able to get anything loss of a yard on the play. Like we said, that front 7 in the 4-2-5 with that blitzing nickel back, that 5th defensive back, it's really a struggle for this Malone offense on the first play to try to get that blocked up front.
Yeah, and I think Findlay is really going to try to stifle those couple of big playmakers for the Pioneers. And I think that's the key for them, stopping Pioneers.
Give to Garland again to the left side, and nothing doing there as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. So we're going to be looking at 3rd and 11. And, you know, guys, obviously Coach Thomas wants to run the football here because if you're going to beat this team tonight, you're going to have to establish the run, or the freshman quarterback, Zane Bunnell, is going to get a lot of pressure.
That's true. And it'll be interesting to see right now with 3rd and long, 3rd and 11, the kind of pressure that he does get.
And Ashland Doolin is their primary threat, number 19. And we've seen Doolin when they played Ohio Dominican as a runner, as a receiver, so as a multi-talented kid. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Pistol formation, and Bunnell keeps the ball and is able to get about 2 yards, moving just up over the 30-yard line. And that's where the Pioneers will have to kick the ball away to the Oilers.
Yeah, you can see in their offense here, Malone really wants to try to keep the ball on the ground and shorten this game as much as possible, because with this high-flying Findlay offense, they want to keep them off the field as much as possible.
The Findlay offense is going to be quite the problem here for Malone, as they've averaged nearly 47 points a game, or 48 points a game.
A little issue here with Findlay, only 10 men on the field, so they're going to try to find their. Here we go. We got the 11th man coming on. They're ready to go now.
And it looks like we have. There's the kick, and Moeller drives it down to the 30, rolls down past the 25, rolls just inside the 20-yard line, and that's where the Oilers will take over. So it'll be 1st and 10 from officially the 19-yard line for the Findlay Oilers.
Yeah, that was a nice job flipping the field position there, because they had the ball at the 30, get it down inside the 19, so 51-yard punt to flip the field position.
Yeah, Marcus Moeller, the punter, is averaging 38.1 yards per kick this year. So Findlay comes out with Rice Gervis as their quarterback. They have 1 receiver to the left and 1 to the right. They have a tailback to the left of Gervis, and Gervis gives it off to Dauda Silla. I just slaughtered his name, so we're gonna check that. I apologize to him, and we will see what we've got there. That's Dauda Silla. So Dauda Silla with a nice run of about 5 yards. Silla has gained 1,076 yards and has scored 14 touchdowns on the ground this year, so he is a threat. 2-by-2 formation, back set off to the left, little play action, and they get it out quick. And it's the number 24 of the Oilers, and he punches the ball up to over the 40-yard line, and that's Jacob Hill. Hill has 19 receptions and 238 yards on the season.
That's one of those run-pass options, because the left tackle, number 54, Andrew Dickinson, was working his way downfield. Quarterback read it, nice little pass, and Dickinson got out front to help get a 1st down.
Okay, so the Oilers come out. 2 to the right. They have a fullback off to the left. They're in a pistol formation, 1 receiver to the left. And they give it out to Dauda Silla, and he is up to the 38-yard line of the Pioneers in the Pioneer territory, and he just gashes them for almost a 20-yard gain there, guys.
Yeah, huge hole by number 68, Clay Colvin, right guard, 67, the right tackle, Christian Olmstead. They could have driven a Mack truck through that hole.
Yeah, the Malone linebackers are going to have their hands full plugging those gaps tonight.
Yeah, they're going to have to step up and meet those linemen. Of course, it's a big burly line for the Oilers. Okay, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. The back offset to Gervis's right. A little bounce motion, and they give it again to Silla, and Silla is up to the 32-yard line, and we're looking at 2nd and short, and this is a bad situation, Tim, for the Pioneer defense. 2nd and short, 2nd and 3, 2nd and 2. They can dial up about any play in the playbook here.
Sure, so they've got to try to be ready for just about anything, and that's going to put them back on their heels a little bit, I would think.
Okay. A little bit of a look offense by the Oilers. They look over to the sideline to get the call. We've got tight end to the right, 2 receivers to his right, 1 to the left, back offset to the right of Gervis. Gervis gets the ball out quickly to the wide receiver, and I believe that's Arian Kosak. And Kosak gets the ball up to the 21-yard line, where it'll be another 1st down for the Oilers.
Yeah, these Findlay numbers are a little hard to read. They're kind of small, so we're efforting to try to get these numbers the best.
Actually, that was Jason Moore.
Number 8, yeah.
Yeah, number 8, Jason Moore, 37 catches, 527 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Okay, give it to Silla. Silla's up to the 13-yard line, where he's brought down by a host of Pioneers, and they'll be looking at again, a second and short situation, Tim, and the Pioneers have to come up with an answer here pretty quick.
Yeah, they're almost going to have to take a chance and try to make a big play to stop the Findlay offense from getting in the end zone at this point.
Try to dial up some heat, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. They may have to get a run blitz with the way they've been able to gash up front today.
3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Gervis in the shotgun with his back. Silla, and he gives it to Silla again to the 10, to the 5. He powers down to the, wow. We're going to have to talk to Greg about that one now.
Yeah, they're calling it dead.
I
They're
thought,
call-
I thought the ground caused the fumble on at the 2-yard line. Silla hit the ground, the ball rolled out, and for a second there, it looked like that the Pioneers may have got the turnover.
Yeah, it looked that way.
Yeah, now the officials are meeting, but yeah, it clearly looked like he was down. The field judge came in from the back corner, blew that dead right away, so he had a clear view of everything.
So 1st and goal from the 3 for the Findlay Oilers as the Malone Pioneers will have to stiffen here to stop the Oilers' drive. We're at 9 minutes to go in the first period here at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton. The Oilers line up with a fullback offset to the right. To the left. Silla to the left. They give Silla the ball, and why not? And he powers into the end zone for a 3-yard touchdown run. So Dawa Silla gets his 15th touchdown run of the season, Tim.
Wow. Yeah, I tell you, the Malone defense is going to have to come up with some kind of solution. Otherwise, they're just going to keep ramming it down their throats all night.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like we've got an injured player. I can't tell who it is. Looks like it's for Findlay. Looks like it's Silla. Looks like Silla, as he went down, he's still in the end zone. So
Well, that could be
hopefully-
costly.
hopefully it's just got the wind knocked out of him. So
They rode Silla down the field, Greg, and I mean, that would be really costly, although this Findlay team is definitely multifaceted when you look at the offensive weapons.
Yeah.
You've got Aaron Kosak. He's got 10 catches for 264 yards, which is a 26.4 yard per catch average.
yeah,
That's great in any league.
if Silla's not able to return into this game, which hopefully, we don't want anybody to go down with an injury, so hopefully he's able to return. But if he's not, Mike Campbell, the backup running back, he'll have just as much success with the way Findlay is able to open up these holes. I don't think it's going to matter which running back they put back there. If they're going to be able to continue opening up these massive holes, Campbell will be just fine as a replacement.
Campbell's no slouch. He has 500 yards and 10 touchdowns. So between Silla and Campbell, you're looking at 25 touchdowns for the Oilers this year. So that's a pretty formidable ground
It's
attack.
a couple of nice seasons right there.
Yeah. There's a team up in, a couple hours north of here that might need a running back or two.
Or two.
or a whole new team. So the Oilers line up to kick, and this will be, we'll see if it's Chris Demir or is it Grant Loveridge. And this is number 26. And this is another one here that we're going to have to get a number on. So let's check this out.
The number 26 that we have is Jacob Alton. He's listed as a wide receiver, so maybe he's a wide receiver and a kicker. Don't really know, but so far we've seen one number 26 kick the extra point, and then we've had Loveridge as the kickoff man. So they may be using two kickers to do multiple duty there, which seems to be a common thing these days. You have the one kicker that can boot it long on the kickoffs, and then we also have the extra point field goal kicker.
So with 8:45 to go in the first period, it is 7-0 in favor of the Findlay Oilers. And I agree, Greg. I think what's happening is teams want to keep kids in the program. They want to give everybody an opportunity. So if you are not taking a huge drop-off by having a different kicker do the punting and doing the extra points and doing the kickoffs, I think, as Greg alluded to, you see a lot more of that going on nowadays.
Oh, sure, especially with the nature of the game, with injuries being what they are. You always have to develop some depth. You have to have some versatility in your roster and know what you've got and know who you can plug in certain situations when there is an injury.
Okay, Loveridge is able to get the ball down to the 18-yard line, and that is where we have the return by number 5 for the Malone Pioneers, and that is
was
Daniel
Tepe. Yes.
Daniel Tepe on the return there. Okay, the Pioneers take over at the 35-yard line Three receivers to the right, one to the left, the short side of the field. The back, Garland, is behind Brunell. And Brunell throws the ball out on a little quick screen, and that's number 23 out there for the Malone offense. And that is, okay, we have to get into the roster here a little bit.
Yeah,
that was James Jackson.
James Jackson, number
3, Aaron Ivory, did a nice job sprinting out there from his free safety position. He wasn't able to make the tackle, but he slowed the runner up enough, let his teammates rally to the football. And that's why when you have this 4-2-5 defense, it's gang tackling. You have 11 men running to the football, so the first one there doesn't make the play. You have your compadres there to clean up after you.
The compadres. Okay. Pioneers with the ball. We've got Hobbs in motion, a little option to the left. Bunnell pitches the ball out to Garland, and Garland's able to get the ball up for about a 3-yard gain to the 38-yard line of the Pioneers. And we'll be looking at a 3rd and long situation, Tim. And again, they seem pretty committed to running the football right now. We haven't seen a pass yet by the Pioneers.
No, and, I'm looking at this 3rd and long coming up, and I see them trying to get the ball in the hands of Ashton Dolan, which is one of their key playmakers. I'd be surprised if they went somewhere else at this point.
Okay, 2-by-2 set. They're in a wildcat formation with number 4 stepping in to play quarterback, and he throws the ball up down the field, almost picked off by the Oilers, and that'll bring up a 4th down punting situation for Marcus Moeller and the Pioneers.
Bill, I'll tell you what, Aaron Ivory is all over the field. On that 2nd down play, he came up to set the edge from his free safety position. That play there, he was on the opposite hash mark, made his way all the way to the opposite side of the field, was able to knock that ball away. We can see why he has 3 interceptions for 134 yard in return and 3 touchdowns. The kid is an athlete.
Yeah, and he was a 2-time player of the week here, so or conference player of the week. So we've seen some good things out of him. Okay, the Findlay offense will be getting the ball back deep for Findlay. And we'll see if we get the number on this. It's number 5. I think it's Arian Kosak. Yes, it is. And Kosak gets the ball to the 15, up to the 20, out over the 20 to the 22-yard line, and that's where the Oiler offense will take over.
That was a nice punt by Marcus Moeller. Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Yeah, Marcus Moeller did a nice job, averaging 38 yards a kick this season. So with 6:52 to go in the first period, it is 7-0, the Findlay Oilers, who are looking to try to move to 8-1 and continue a bid maybe towards a NCAA Division II playoff appearance. Okay, the Oilers come out 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Gervis is in the shotgun with, I don't think it's Sill, I think it's Campbell is in the game now. Campbell, with a nice little burst, gets the ball up over the 30-yard line, which will be good for a 1st down, out to the 32.
He hit that hole quickly.
He sure did.
Yeah, 1 foot planted, got north and south in a hurry.
Michael Campbell explosively gets the ball up the field in a quick manner, and that puts the Oilers in another 1st down situation. So we'll see what Coach Keys dials up here for the Oilers. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Campbell set to the left of Gervis. Again, the give to, nice penetration by the Pioneers.
That was Daniel Teepee, I believe, number 5.
And Teepee drags down Campbell at about the 30-yard line, which will bring up a second long situation for the Oilers, which they haven't experienced yet tonight.
No, and you know what? The Pioneers are going to have to take some chances like this and see if they can force a turnover or at least throw off the timing of the Findlay offense.
For sure. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. The back, Campbell, set to the right of Gervis in the shotgun. Gervis sets, he drops, he tucks the ball under.
Oh, nice.
And gets the ball up to about the 35-yard line where he's stopped by the Pioneers.
Yeah, they got a lot of pressure on him that time from the outside, forced him back into the middle. And, that's what they're going to have to do. The Pioneers are going to have to be creative tonight and try to find different ways to give them different looks and put some pressure on them.
So we have one receiver to the right, one to the left. We've got fullback offset to the right of Gervis with Campbell to his left in the shotgun formation. Gervis calls for the ball, gives it to Campbell, and Campbell's got a little bit of a hole as he squirts through, but the Pioneers are up to the task.
Yeah, they closed on that real quick. Kept them from breaking that open.
Yeah, when you watch that Pioneer defense there to the right side of their defense, you had a linebacker and their nickelback both up toward the line of scrimmage. So it looked like they were expecting a run. They had a run blitz, chase it down from behind, did a really nice job of making him go east and west and not able to get his foot planted into the ground.
Okay, Patrick Rusher punting for Findlay. He's averaging 41 yards a kick this year. And back deep for Malone is it Ashton Doolin, I believe. And that's at the 3-yard line is where the Pioneers will take over. So a good defensive stance, guys, but they get pinned back there on their own goal line, so it's going to be a difficult situation here. They can't afford to make a mistake. They've got to get a little field position, so they've got to move the ball a little bit, or Findlay's going to be in great field position.
Well, and you know, one might say that the position they're in right now, that they have to be a little bit conservative and protect the ball, especially with the field position. But I think they're in a situation where they've got to take a couple of chances.
Yep.
Especially early on, first, second down.
And they moved the ball to the 11 because it looked like the head linesman, the side judge on this
Set the
side
ball.
threw his beanbag at the 11-yard line, which means Findlay touched it. So that's first touching. That's where they're going to spot the ball.
Okay, so the 11-yard line, which is a lot better in this situation for the Pioneers. Pistol formation, give to Garland. Garland gets the ball not quite to the line of scrimmage, about a loss of 1, so they're going to be looking at 2nd and 11. And again, they still haven't solved that Oiler front there, Greg, as far as being able to move them.
Yeah, that time we had number 14, Tyler Long, coming from his nickelback position on a run blitz. Did a really nice job for the linebacker from Calvert High School in Tiffin, Ohio.
I'd like to see the Pioneers spread their wideouts, spread the field, and maybe try to hit Garland with a screen pass out of the backfield.
Sounds like a good opportunity here. And a little option play with Bunnell, and Bunnell is up to the 20-yard line. He picks up a first down, and the Pioneers get their third first. Or
they marked him ashore. He started.
Oh, they marked it. He slid down at the 20-yard line.
His slide at the 20. So
we got 3rd and 2 here.
Wherever you start your slide, wherever you give yourself up, that's where they're going to mark it. And his slide did carry him past the 20, but he did give himself up at the 20. So we've got about 3rd and 1. So
sure.
We get a first down here for the Pioneers.
And of course, in college football is just like high school football. It's where you touch the ground. It's not like the NFL where you're touched by the opponent.
Right.
So didn't make much of a difference there. 2 receivers to the left, the fullback to the right with a tight end. But now, and it's
that play was
it looked
had
like
gone wrong from the beginning. They had a jet motion there
to Doolin.
And the center snapped the ball and it hit the guy in motion. And clearly the Malone offense, they didn't like what they saw, so they called a timeout prior to the snap.
Thank goodness, because that could have been disastrous if that ball had come off Doolin like that, Tim.
Oh, definitely. The play before that, Zane Bunnell really showed his quickness, his athleticism. He got through that hole quickly and put them in the position they're in now with 3rd and short.
2:45 to go in the first period, 7-0 to Findlay Oilers. The Malone Pioneers have the ball with a 3rd and 2 on their own 20-yard line. They've got to start picking up some first downs and keep the ball away from the Oilers, especially in this part of the field, because at this point the explosiveness does not belong to the Pioneers, and they don't want to get behind the 8 ball too much.
That's true. And they want to set some rhythm for themselves on offense, too.
Right. Okay. We've got the fullback, John Zimmerly, set off to the right. Xavier Garland in the pistol behind Zane Bunnell. 2 receivers to the left. They bring Ashton Doolin in a jet motion, and they give the ball to Garland. Xavier,
just a little short.
And he is a yard short at the 20-yard line. So, guys, I don't think there's a decision time right now. It's too early in the game.
No, that's true.
But it'll be a kicking situation, and Marcus Muller will come out to punt for the Pioneers.
Now, I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised that they just ran an inside handoff like that with all the success they've had on the last 2 drives with the option. I'm surprised they didn't go to that.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I think I would have faked the inside handoff and gone with the option.
Yep. Yeah, I was really surprised they didn't try to get outside because, as you guys said, that's where the success has been here recently for the Pioneers. So Muller in punting position, and Muller does not get one of his better kicks off, and it looks like it goes out in Pioneer territory at the 41-yard line, and so it's not a good situation in the special teams for the Pioneers.
No, definitely not. That's after a couple of really nice punts. Hey, Shanks for the memories, I'll tell you.
So,
Now, with this field position, would you be surprised if Findlay goes up top on the first play?
no, I wouldn't, because I think you've got Scylla out, although Campbell's at adequate back. You've got receivers spread both sides. But no, they keep it with Campbell, and Campbell's up to the 38-yard line of the Pioneers, where he's met by a host of Pioneer tacklers.
Pioneers did a nice job of closing on that, not letting them get ahead of speed.
I will say this. What I've noticed the last couple times that Findlay's had the ball is there's been some nice holes initially, but by the time the back gets there, they've been able to close that down a little bit.
And that may be the difference between the 2 running backs also. You have Campbell, who's the backup, and then you have Scylla, the starter. Scylla was able to make those cuts much more quickly than Campbell's been able to so far.
Very true. Second and about 7, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Gervis gets the ball out quickly to Jason Moore, his leading receiver this year, with 37 catches for 527 yards and 10 TDs. And why not? Moore is a touchdown-making machine for Gervis, so you would expect to see them continually go back to him.
Yeah, clearly they've thrown just a few passes. They've gone to him every time, so he's the guy they want to get to in the passing game.
He was forced out of bounds by Josh Correll.
Gervis turns, a little bubble screen, and the Oilers are able to get the ball up to the 15-yard line, and that ball was pitched out there to number 26, and we will get a number on that young man. It is Jacob Alton. Jacob Alton with the catch. Jacob's got 18 receptions for 235 yards. Okay. Oilers in the pistol again. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Campbell offset to the right of Gervis, and Gervis gets the ball, gives it out to Campbell. Campbell's up to 15, 5, 1, goal, touchdown for the Oilers. That was pretty easy.
Yeah, I think either one of us could have run through that hole.
Yeah, after he was able to get past the first line, it was just smooth sailing into the end zone. Tell you what, this offensive line for Findlay, they're a bunch of road graders, and they're just clearing the path for these running backs.
Some pretty big kids out there, and with 24 seconds to go in the first period, it is 13-0 in favor of the Findlay Oilers as the Oilers line up. And I think this is Chris Demir this time kicking the no, it isn't. It is Jacob Alton, and Alton with the kick. And
there's a flag on the field.
And I believe that is Jacob Alton. That does look like the same
receiver.
They may have 2 number 26s, but it looks like that is number 26, Alton, the wide receiver.
The wide receiver.
Just, that had a nice catch on the bubble screen a moment ago.
So we see some different players in here, guys. I mean, obviously we don't see these teams every week, so we don't know if this is an injury situation. Is this an opportunity to take a look at another kid? Who knows? Could be disciplinary situations. I mean, we don't know what's going on. Okay, the ball is now on the 8-yard line, so this will make this a 25-yard extra point. And there's Alton's kick, and it looks good. So Jacob Alton, the backup kicker, is 2 for 2 today, and it makes it 14-0 in favor of the Findlay Oilers. And guys, at some point here, the Pioneers just have to get points on the board.
Yeah, and I think while I understand early on them trying to establish the run, it's been stopped up the middle continuously. I think what little success they've had so far has been to the outside on the option, and I think they need to start doing that more regular.
And it appears that, we saw John Iacusi start for the Pioneers last time we were here against Ohio Dominican. And looking at the depth chart, they have Adam Bertkey as the backup quarterback. He is a 6'6" junior from Maria Stein, Ohio. So it appears that Iacusi would not be available to go tonight. And there's the kick. The ball's driven down to about the 6-yard line, and that's where Doolin takes it. He's up to the 10, 15, bounces over, and stopped at the 16-yard line. So that is where the Malone offense will take over, guys. And, again, they've just got to get something going here.
Yeah, the struggle right now, that Malone defense has been on the field quite a bit.
Most of the first quarter.
Yeah, offensively, they haven't been able to do much. And, with a high-powered offense like Findlay, Malone's offense has to do something to try to stay on the field, pick up a first down or two, flip field position, allow their defense to really get some rest.
Yep.
Yeah, those guys are going to be gassed pretty soon if the Malone offense doesn't start moving the ball.
Very true. Very true here.
It'll be interesting to see how they come out this set.
Okay, so we have bubble motion, and number 4 gives the ball off to Xavier Garland, and we're going to ascertain who this is here, the number 4. He apparently is a quarterback here for the Pioneers, and we'll dig. Why don't you guys grab that?
Cam Ingram.
Cam Ingram.
Yes.
So Cam Ingram has taken the last several snaps there. I don't know if Bunnell is injured or if it's just a change of pace thing. They see that the option is working, and maybe Ingram is a better option here.
Well, in that last play, Xavier Garland had a real nice stutter step before he burst through the hole and made a nice run out of it.
So that is the end of the first quarter with the score 14-0 in favor of the Findlay Oilers in search of their 8th win of the year. And, of course, the Pioneers, after coming off their first win against Lake Erie last week, Tim, they're trying to get a 2-game winning streak going, and it's going to be a tough assignment against the Oilers.
It sure will be, but, they're almost in a position where they've got nothing to lose, so to speak. So, I think they need to take some chances. Try to do something different to throw off the Findlay freight train that's been coming at them so far.
Very true, very true. So we will pick up action in the second quarter now, and we've got Malone with the ball on the 22-yard line. They have 2 receivers to the left. They get deep motion to Doolin, and the ball is given off to Xavier Garland, and Garland pounds the ball up to about the 25-yard line.
Yeah, and something I've noticed with this Malone offense, based on their formations and a lot of the motion they're running, nearly every play that they run has some form of option look to it. Now, whether they actually run the option with it or not, it remains to be seen how often they're going to do that, but they're always running some kind of option. So look for that as the game progresses. They're looking to see how Findlay reacts to it, see if they honor the option. And if Findlay's not honoring the option, look for them to go back to it more, especially since they have had some success.
Right. So we've got 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. We've got a pistol formation with Ingram at quarterback, and it's an option play, and Ingram is just racked at about the 22-yard line.
Johnny Hopkins came off the edge, and I can see why he has 30 tackles. This is his 11th tackle for loss on the season. I'm sorry, 12th. He's already had one today. 4.5 sacks, just came flying off the edge. That's one of those plays where you don't expect a backside defensive end to run it down, but he did.
Yeah, and that's another TFL for him. So Moeller is in the kick. Again, Moeller averages about 38 yards a kick. So you would expect that the ball will travel probably to the Findlay 40 if he gets a normal kickoff. Last one wasn't very good for Moeller, so we'll see how this one goes. And Moeller's kick drives the ball
much better kick
down to the 35-yard line of the Oilers. And that ball is Kosek is back up to the 45. He's to the 50s, down and dragged out at the 47-yard line. of the Pioneers, and so it's going to be good starting field position for the Oilers.
We do have a penalty flag at the 50. It looks like they're signaling for a block in the back. So if that's the case, it looks like it'll be 1st and 10 Findlay from their own 40-yard line.
Thank you. So we've got some
Holding, excuse me.
first
holding.
quarter offensive stats here. We'll take a look at those.
That was a nice tackle by Jordan Johnson, by the way.
We've got Dowda Silla, the back who we have not seen since the first drive. He had 6 carries for 56 yards and a touchdown. Was averaging 9.3 yards per carry, and that could be a big loss. Well, hopefully he's not out. Might be precautionary. Maybe they're just keeping him out at this situation.
Yeah, right now, if you look across the way, he is sitting on the trainer's table right now without his helmet, so that does not look like a good sign for him.
So that would be a big loss is Dowda Silla, who's 56 yards in the drive there. And Michael Campbell powers the ball up over the 50-yard line into Pioneer territory. So picks up it appears to be a first down.
Well, the Pioneer defense has to start making contact closer to the line of scrimmage with the ball carrier. They're letting them get too deep into their secondary before they start swarming them, gang tackling them.
Very true. Okay, Findlay with the ball. They've got a split to the right, split to the left. Pistol formation. Campbell shoots through the 40, up to the 35, down to the 30, inside the 30, down to the 29-yard line. And just like that, a 20-yard pickup for Michael Campbell of the Oilers. And they're knocking again, guys.
Another huge hole on the right side of the left side of the Pioneer defense.
Yeah, like Tim mentioned a minute ago, that Findlay offensive line is getting a hat on that front seven. But those linebackers and defensive linemen for Malone really need to try to get off those blocks to make a play.
Okay, so Jervis in the pistol formation, and he gets ready for the snap, and he gives the ball off. And we've got a new back in there. It looks like it's number 40 for the Oilers. And we will get one of our guys there, spotters, will get a number for us on that. And, Campbell's back in. That was number 47 that carried the ball for the Oilers, and we apologize, but we will get his number and get him some recognition here. Michael Campbell is back in the game.
Looks like Nate Schlagel.
Okay, Nate Schlagel was the back, and we will. Okay, the Oilers back to real action. Jervis drops the ball out to number 30, and he advances the ball down to the 7-yard line.
Jacob Boucher, who is from Canton, Michigan. Michigan. So really excellent play call there. They're able to slide that tight end out, motion one opposite. He was able to sneak out of the backfield, and there was nobody near him for about 15 yards, down to the 10-yard line. 1st and goal for the Oilers.
Okay. So a variety of running backs are getting into the game here, and why not? 14-0 early in the first half, and Jervis in a pistol brings Kosek in motion and gives it to Michael Campbell. Campbell just shoots from the 10-yard line up to about the 4, and they are in red zone territory, guys, and they're looking like they're going to possibly punch another one in.
Yeah. The Pioneer linebackers, I think, need to come up a little tighter on the ball. They're giving too much of a gap behind or between themselves and their defensive linemen.
Well, especially where the ball is right now, guys.
Sure.
Ball on the 4-yard line. We've got 2 to the right and 2 to the left with a tight end. They give it to Campbell. Campbell shoots up to about the 2.5-yard line, and that's where he stopped, which will bring up 3rd and goal from the 2.5. And at least the Pioneers stiffened up a little bit that time, guys.
Yeah, they did. That was promising, but they're letting them get too far down the field before they start tightening up. That's the problem right now. Findlay's had their way so far to this point.
So the Oilers are one receiver to the right, a tight end, and flanker to the left in a offset pistol. And play action pass to the corner, and that is Jervis's favorite target, Jason Moore, who just picked up his 11th touchdown of the season on a play action pass.
You know, right before the play was snapped, I was just going to say, if you look at his alignment, Jason Moore was tight to the offensive line. So it looked like he was possibly going to run a fade, and that's exactly what they did.
And that was a well-thrown ball, well-executed play on the part of Findlay.
Exactly. So the Oilers are back on the board, 20-0 with 9:55 to go in the second quarter, and they line up for the extra point here. And this is Jacob Alton trying his third attempt of the night. And there's the kick, and Alton is perfect as the ball goes through. So 21-0, 9:55 to go in the second quarter. And it's been all Oilers, guys. They are showing why they are 7-1 right now.
Yeah, they're a well-oiled machine at this point, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah, you have Findlay, which looking at the latest rankings, the Super Region 1 rankings, it's a tongue twister. They are number 4 in their region. They are number 22 overall, so it's the first time this season they're able to crack into the top 25, and you can see why they are a top 25 program. They've been able to pretty much come out here and do whatever they want, both offensively and defensively. It's time for Malone to try to see if they can get something going on offense. If they're able to string a drive together, get some success, that's going to build some confidence. Because right now, the defense for Malone is really lacking confidence. They have not been able to slow down this Findlay offense at all up to this point.
Well, and actually, Findlay's dominated both sides of the ball on the line, both lines. And, you know, that's where it starts, the blocking and tackling. They've pretty much had their way. They've stopped the Pioneers from establishing any kind of offensive
Ashton
drive.
Doolin.
A nice little return for Ashton.
So Ashton gets the ball up to about the 28-yard line, and that's where the Pioneers will take over, guys. We haven't seen the ball up in the air here for the Pioneers, and I think you're going to get to a point where they're going to have to start trying to throw the ball.
Sure.
Yeah, and when you start throwing the ball, then that goes right into the Findlay strength. You have Johnny Hopkins, defensive end, with several sacks this season, all those tackles for loss. The secondary for Findlay is very strong also.
Okay, trips to the left, one receiver to the right. Deep motion, they give the ball to Garland. Garland's up to the 35, out to the 40-yard line, and a first down with a nice little 11-yard run. And just like that, Xavier Garland picks up a first down for the Pioneers.
Yeah, he did a real nice job. He hit the hole real quick there and burst through it. And, that's what got him that good gain.
Well, they have had patience, and it looks like they've brought back Zane Bunnell. And we don't know what the deal was. Is they're just trying out another quarterback, or maybe Bunnell was injured. 3 receivers to the left. They've got Zimmerly as the short slot, and Aaron the pistol, and they give the ball an option play with Bunnell, and Bunnell it's sniffed out by the Oiler defense as he's dragged down at the 39-yard line for about a yard loss.
You know, what I find interesting is we've seen a lot of teams run a pistol offense throughout the years, but I've never seen a pistol running back stand that close to the quarterback. He is 1 yard behind the quarterback. So I've never seen that. I think it's just to maybe get the running back as quickly up to the line of scrimmage as possible, because Findlay's defensive front is so strong this season.
Okay, Pioneers with 3 receivers to the right. Zimmerly offset fullback to the right in a pistol formation. Hobbs in deep motion, and it's Garland that powers the ball up to about the 30 or 41-yard line. Pickup of 2. Gets back the yards they lost plus a little, so it's going to bring up third and about 9 yards. And again, guys, we've seen 2 passes tonight out of the Pioneers. I think with the strength of the Findlay defense, the Pioneers are going to have to start throwing the football a little bit to loosen them up if they're going to have any success.
Yeah, I would think that they would have to try some type of play action, fake handoff to Garland and maybe hit a crossing route or something.
2-by-2 receivers, pistol formation for Malone. Bunnell drops to throw it, and it was looking for Ashton Doolin, and I'm not quite sure what happened there. I think it was a good choice. It looks like Doolin was going to be open there, and
yeah, he was open for a minute there, and he had single coverage over on that side. So a better pass. I don't know what happened either, but if Bunnell had been able to get the ball in his hands, maybe we could have had something there.
Marcus Moeller kicking again for the Pioneers. Again, averages about almost 40 yards and drives the ball down the field to where it goes out approximately the 16-yard line. So the Oilers will take over deep in their own territory. And this would be a great time with 7:40 to go in the second quarter for the Pioneer defense to stiffen up, get a turnover, something to change the game a little bit, to change the complexion, because 21-7 would be a huge momentum swing for Malone, but
Sure.
they're going to have to make a play here.
Well, plus Finley's going to get the second half kickoff too. So
Right.
You got to make a stop here, and then you got to come up with something on
2
the
by 2
offensive side.
formation, back offset to the left to Jervis. Jervis gets the ball, and it's a little quick screen out to number 24, Jacob Hill.
Nice tackle by Daniel TP there.
Jacob Hill, 19 receptions, 238 yards for the Oilers this year.
Yeah, Jacob Hill's a transfer from Syracuse this season.
Wow. And Syracuse, in its own rights, is having a nice season under former Bowling Green coach Dino Favors.
Yeah, old Dino Babers. That was tough to see him go. He's doing a really nice job with the other Orange school.
Yes, the other Orange school. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Jervis and the pistol. They bring motion with Hill, and they give the ball to Campbell, and Campbell's to the 30. He's to the 35. He bounces almost up to the 40-yard line, and that's where he's brought down, but not after a nice 14-yard gain there, guys.
Yeah, again, we sound like a broken record. The offensive line for Findlay is just opening up some massive holes. Wasn't able to get past the corner. Wide receiver was in a tough spot there. He was trying to block, but the way the corner was positioned, if he did block him, it would have been a block in the back, and obviously that would have negated that first down run.
Josh Carell did make a nice open field TD saving tackle on that play, because that's where it looked like it was headed.
Okay. Bounce motion by the Oilers, and balls give to Campbell. Campbell's up to the 43, up to the 44, and that's where he's brought down. So the Oilers will be looking at a 2nd and 6 here, and the beat goes on, guys. It just it's one of those things here where some slanting, some stunning, something up front for the Pioneers to really set off this Findlay line, because they're starting to get into a rhythm, and it's not a good rhythm for Malone.
No, not at all. And also I still think the linebacking core should be playing up a little bit closer.
Tighten up a little.
Yeah. I think they're giving them too much room there to work, to operate.
3 receivers to the right. Jervis in an offset pistol. Looks over, and there's a timeout. And it appears that looks like Findlay did not like what they saw out there. So we'll see what the adjustments are. So, guys, Findlay, we look at that offensive line. It's a massive group of kids out there, and right now they're having their way. So what we need to see with the Pioneers is they're going to have to dial up some kind of different approach to this. Again, whether it be stunning or looping or run blitzes, they need to create some big plays in the backfield. So they put Findlay in 2nd and long, 3rd and long, so that they have a situation to get the ball back and change the score here.
Well, at this point, 3 touchdowns down in only the first half. They do need to take chances, like you said, some stunts, some loops, some run blitzes. They've got to try to create some confusion with the Findlay offense, at least break their timing, break their rhythm.
Okay, 2 by 2 formation for the Oilers, and they give it to Campbell. Campbell's up to 45, 50, 45, 40, and knocked out at the 36-yard line of the Pioneers, as Michael Campbell is starting to get the rhythm here, guys. Dowd Asilla started with 56 yards. He's over, apparently injured here. And they go to Michael Campbell, who has 500 yards on the season. And it's, we got a little holding. Okay, so holding. So that'll slow down the Oilers' machine here. and a little bit of a break for the Pioneers, as they definitely needed something to happen like that.
Yeah.
And now the defense needs to step up and turn the ball over, whether it be on downs or get a fumble or interception.
Yes, we have 2nd and 14 here. So this is what Malone is needed. So we'll see if they stick to the run game. If we see a screen, or maybe if they go to the number 1 receiver, number 8 Jason Moore. So we'll see what they do here. We haven't seen them in this situation yet, so this is where the film study for Malone comes into play.
Sure.
They have picked up on some tendencies. We'll see if they guess correctly.
Okay, a 2-by-2 formation for the Oilers. Pistol with the back offset to the right. And we will see what happens here. And they got a fresh running back in here. I think it's Alton. And Alton, the quick little back, is able to pick up about 10 yards. Gets a little bit of that holding penalty back, guys.
That was actually number 24, the receiver, Jacob Hill, also the return man. You can see the quickness. But
Jacob Hill.
Again,
Yep.
I think we've got another hold.
Another flag.
It looks like it kind of looks like the left tackle, number 54, Andrew Dickinson. Yeah, you can see on the edge he did have a hold. The defensive end tried to spin off him, and you can see he had his hand inside the collar of the shoulder pads. And when he spins, you got to let go. But that's going to happen every single time.
Nice tackle. Unfortunately, he was on the wrong side of the ball.
5 minutes to go in the second period, 21-0 in favor of the Findlay Oilers, the nationally ranked Findlay Oilers, and the Malone Pioneers have a good situation here where they can get a stop and get some good field position.
Maybe it's time for a jailbreak.
It might be. And this is Hill, and Hill was up to the 40, 45,
Oh, boy.
40, 35, 30, and he runs out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. And, wow, just like that, there's a great situation for the Pioneers to shut him down. And Hill is lightning in the bottle as he picks up nearly 50 yards on that run, guys.
Yeah, he gets all the way down inside the 20 is where they actually marked him out. He stepped over one shoestring tackle and was just able to raise to beat the corner to the corner.
3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Shotgun formation with Campbell off to the right of Jervis. Jervis looks a little quick. Oh, and he's going to go to the little post pass. Almost picked off by the Pioneers. Okay, so Greg, you're the official. Now let me ask you this. Do you think the Malone player had the right to the football there? It seemed that he broke on it.
At first, to me, it looked like pass interference because there was some contact prior to the ball arriving. But
Looks like
I
Jordan
probably
Johnson.
wouldn't have called that pass interference. I think the back judge, is a good no call because both players were playing the football. The receiver and the defensive back were both going for the football. There is going to be contact, and if they're both playing the ball, there's a little bit of contact. We're going to let that go. If the DB is not playing the ball, he's playing the receiver and makes the contact, then they're probably going to see the yellow flag on the field.
In good consciousness, that player had a BB on the ball, and the Oilers receiver ran into him. So, it looked like they were both going for the football. There was no intentional pass interference on that. So I have to agree with you, Greg. I believe that is going to be a good no call, by the way.
And that was an excellent play call because the last time we saw that, the little swing to number 26, Jacob Alton, got him down inside the 5-yard line prior to the last touchdown. They ran the exact same play, the exact same setup, except they faked the swing pass and they tried to hit him on a quick slant and just weren't able to connect. The safety did an excellent job of reading it, breaking on the football, and knocking it down.
Yeah, that was Jalen Doss, number 20, the strong safety that broke that up. And I agree with you guys. It was a good no call.
Okay, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, fullback offset to the right in the slot, and Campbell is to the left. And, a little trickeration here and a little reverse to Hill. And Hill keeps on going as he gets the ball down to about appears to be the 15-yard line. So they brought Hill on the snap of the ball behind Campbell and Jervis and faked the ball to Campbell going to his right, turned and gave it to Hill, and Hill was able to pick up about 5 yards on that.
And the Pioneer defense actually did a good job of closing on that and keeping it out of the end zone.
Three receivers to the right, one to the left. Campbell to the left of Jervis. Jervis changes the call. He looks, he talks to the receivers, sets, and gets the snap and gets the ball out on a little quick screen to number 24, and that is Hill again. And Hill takes it the full 15 yards for a touchdown. And that was a nice checkoff. So Jacob Hill was in the slot, and I think what they saw, Greg, is he was uncovered. And they thought, okay, if this kid who's got good, quick feet, if we can get him the ball in space, he has that opportunity to get it in, and he did.
Yeah, it's not surprising that he's also the return man with the quickness that he has. And he's not very big. He's only 5'7", 176 pounds, but he sure is quick when he gets up to the line of scrimmage.
So Jacob Alton in to attempt his fourth extra point with 3:18 to go in the second period. And it just looks like right now that the Oilers are they're mixing and matching, guys. They're mixing things up really well. They're getting a lot of players in, a lot of playing time for a lot of different people means that the Pioneers are getting worn down by the Oilers right now.
Right, they are. The Oilers are almost using this like a good scrimmage, it seems. They're trying out different plays in their playbook and
different combinations and such.
Different players in and out of the lineup.
Yep.
But I think Malone. They've got to, on the defensive side of the ball, I think they've got to maybe come out with their standard look and then come with 8 in the box, just before the snap. Try something different.
Right.
Something to at least disrupt these guys a little bit. And offensively, I think they need to start throwing the ball down the field. I mean, they're 4 touchdowns down already, so
yeah,
they got to try something.
Something has to change offensively, I agree. So the Oilers get ready to kick off. And it appears that this is number 82. Okay, and we will get that gentleman's number. Grant Loveridge, and the ball is returned up to the 30-yard line, and that's where the Pioneers will take the ball over. So with 3:12 to go in the second period, it is 28-0 in favor of the Findlay Oilers, the nationally ranked Findlay Oilers. And the Oilers are in good position here, guys. I mean, they, again, they've got a nice rotation. They're getting people a lot of rest, and that's not a good thing right now for Malone.
No, it's not. I'd like to see Malone try like a quick crossing pattern, something maybe hit the seam and split it.
So it looks like we're back to Cam Ingram as the quarterback, and Ingram is in, and he throws right off the bat and nearly picked off by the Oilers. Ingram tossed the ball up the sideline. Looks like it was for Ashton Doolin. And
it looked like he was expecting Doolin to cut to the middle on that.
Yeah.
Either that or it was just a bad pass. It looked like
too many
on
white
the same
jerseys.
page there.
Yeah. And we've got the Malone Pioneers dressed in their all navy tonight with the midshipman type of helmets, like the Naval Academy. And then Findlay is in their white with their black and orange trim, black helmets. Okay, 3 receivers to the right. Hobbs moves into the slot. And it appears to be a timeout for Malone. So with 3:06 to go, guys, second period, 28-0 in favor of the Findlay Oilers. Maybe some screenplays. Some slip screens we saw when they played Ohio Dominican that they were able to get the ball to John Zimmerly underneath, and Zimmerly had some success with that. So maybe that would be something that they could try to slow down what that Findlay front is doing to them right now.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to see them try on offense is maybe split Ashton Doolin out wide to one side, and maybe have him just run a fly pattern and open up the flats for a quick pitch out to Xavier Garland, see what they can do.
Okay, so it looks like 3 receivers to the right. Zimmerly is offset to the left, and they are in a pistol formation. The Pioneers are at the 29-yard line, 2nd and 10. Hobbs goes deep, and they give the ball to Garland, and Garland is able to get the ball up to about the 31-yard line. Short game, so it'll be 3rd and about 9. And, we just, at this point, they got to get the ball up a little bit here. These 3rd and 9s, these 2nd and 9s, they're going to be difficult to pick up unless they can aviate the ball a little bit.
Sure. Maybe a wide receiver screen, something along those lines.
2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, pistol formation. Cam Ingram is back in at quarterback. And Ingram goes to throw the ball and tries to get it. I believe it looks like Ashton Doolin was the intended receiver. And so it'll be Marcus Moeller time again. And Moeller's been a busy man, guys.
Throw is a little bit low, but that's a catch that Doolin's got to make.
Moeller had 3 punts in the first quarter for 41 yards. And so we'll see. He had a couple shorter ones in the second quarter, and there's Moeller's kick. And drives at about 50 yards back to the 20-yard line. And that's where Kosick gets the ball up to the 30, up to the 35, out to the 36-yard line. And that's where the Oilers will take over with 2:07 to go. So what do you expect with 2:07, guys, up 28? Do you try to put another one in here? Obviously, 35-0 at halftime really damages probably the psyche of the Pioneers. But, that's the job of the offense, is to take the defense out of the game, and I think that could be the type of strike that would really be a deflating blow for Malone.
Yeah, I look for Findlay to try their version of a 2-minute drill, see if they can get another one in here.
2x2, Jervis back, gets the ball out to Campbell. Campbell's up to the 40-yard line, pickup of about 4 yards, so they'll be looking at a 2nd and 6. And, yeah, they are aggressively going after it, guys. They were in a 2x2 there and slipped it back out to the left flats. Okay. Campbell lines up to the right, 2x2 formation. They've got a twins down into the boundaries to the left. And Jervis, gets a little pressure, but he finds number 8, Jason Moore. Moore, again, has been the recipient of a lot of balls here tonight, guys. And another first down at the 32-yard line.
Yeah, Jervis took a shot there, came up limping, so we'll see if he's able to go.
Oh, he is. Jervis is.
Looks like he's already got a brace on that knee.
Very visibly limping. Jervis drops. He looks. And, and it's picked off by the Pioneers. And just like we said, a play that was needed. Now, that ball was tipped up in the air by Jacob Hill, who's been the all-everything here for the.
They're saying the side judge came in, said it hit the ground. But if you look at number 11, the quarterback Jervis, he was not able to step into that throw. He wasn't able to do anything, and he took another shot, and he's out of the game. And so it looks like we have number 12, Adam Bertkey from Marion Local, who is a transfer from the University of Pittsburgh, coming in, 6'6", 236-pound quarterback.
And Bertkey is a big kid there. So they have 3 receivers to the right. Campbell off to the left to Bertkey. Single receiver, Moore. He looks for Moore on a comeback route, a beautiful comeback route. Takes it at about the 20-yard line. Looks like it'll be good enough for an Oiler first down. Yeah. And they didn't miss a beat, Greg.
I'll tell you what, that was a great throw by Bertkey.
That sure was. Findlay is so deep.
Yeah, they showed the ability just to Jervis goes out and they bring Bertkey in, and first play, boom. And what a way to gain some confidence for your backup is to get that first completion. Okay, Bertkey in the offset pistol, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, and he gives the ball to Campbell. Campbell's up to the 15, down to the 13, almost to the 12-yard line. Not quite enough for a first down, but it's going to be second and very short. So this is a bad situation for the Pioneer defense because there's a lot of things that can be dialed up right now.
Sure.
I would expect to probably see Campbell again on this, but we'll see. And no, Bertkey drops. He looks. He goes to the corner, and wow. And that was tied up by the Pioneer defender. Good job there. That again was Jason Moore, the leading receiver here for the Oilers.
And that was a good job on defense by number 25, one of their safeties, Jordan Johnson.
Very true. So the Oilers, with 43 seconds to go in the second period, trying to make the score 35-0. Bertke in the shotgun. Campbell offset to the left. Bertke takes a quick look, and boom!
Nice hit. Nice hit down there.
A nice hit as the ball is, a nice concept. The ball was on a little post pattern there and is rocked pretty hard. Number 26, Jacob Alton, the kicker.
Yeah, you could tell that the ball was thrown just a tad light because that was his number 3 option. He was working his progression from left to right, and finally saw him. By that time, the receiver had dropped too far toward the goal line, right to the safety. Wasn't able to hold on to the ball.
Well, it was open briefly, but the Pioneer defense closed really quick on it.
Hill in motion to the right, and Bertke rolls out. He rolls, continues to roll. And, nice patience. Andrew Ogletree, number 81, wide open at the 1-yard line, drops the ball. Ogletree could have walked in the end zone, guys, if he was able to get that.
Hit him in a bad place, the hands.
So we have a field goal attempt coming up here with 31 seconds to go in the second period. 28-0.
No, that was a fourth down play.
Oh, that was a fourth down play.
So
okay.
First down,
even
Malone
better.
going the other direction at the 13-yard line.
Not paying attention there, guys. Okay, so 31 seconds, 28-0. And so Pioneers most likely will take a knee, or they'll try something here on the first play to see if they gain much, and if they do, then try to run regular offense. Pistol formation, Zimmerly off to the left, a little bubble screen, and pop it out there, and it looks like a little first down for I think that's Hobbs.
Holding.
And
looks like we got a holding call.
Looks like it's coming back.
Yeah, that was a clear hold on the receiver. He had hold of him out in the open, and the line judge, I've seen that plenty of times when it's out in the open like that. You really just want to yell at the kid, let him go, and you don't have any choice. You have to throw the flag when it's out in the open like that.
So 25 seconds ago, holding call, and that will bring a nice gain back for the Malone Pioneers, and he just didn't need that to happen right there, guys, as they were, trying to get something going with, unlikely with 25 seconds and having 80 yards in front of them, but now they've made it a little worse as they have 93 yards in front of them to cover in 25 seconds.
Yeah, that was Ian Elsas on the hold.
So Bunnell is looking over to the sideline and getting the call, okay, and the Pioneers are ready as they call the play in the huddle. Huddle is broken, and it appears that we're going to, a little indecision there. They come back and check again. Bunnell's going to change the play. They're going to have to hurry. They're running out a little time here as there's 16 seconds on the play clock. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Pistol formation with a offset fullback. Hobbs comes in motion, and they give it to Garland, and Garland is able to get back to the line of scrimmage, guys. Not much more than that. And I suspect that will probably be the last play of the first half, as I don't expect the Pioneers will try to get much going here. With you don't want to turn the ball over down here, guys, and make it 35-0. So that is the end of the second quarter. Halftime, 28-0 in favor of the Findlay Oilers, and the Oilers have played the part of the undefeated team in this league.
Yeah, yes, they have. They've had everything their own way so far this first half, and again, to my way of thinking, it starts on both sides of the ball, on both lines. They've dominated, and they've shown that they've got some quality players too, playmakers. Both the wide receivers and their running back. Their quarterbacks have been pretty good, too.
Sure. If we take a look, guys, we look at the offensive line for the Oilers, and we haven't talk much about them. They have been a dominant force. You've got number 54, Andrew Dickinson. He is a sophomore offensive lineman. He is 6'3", 309. He is from Ashland, Ohio.
Wow, that's a load.
And then you have number 74, Andrew Allen, a guard. He's a senior. He is 6'2", 308 from Loveland, Ohio. So that's 600 pounds on that left side that is doing a pretty good job. Then number 53, the center, Neil Davis, is the little guy. He is a sophomore. He is 6 foot 287. Now, you know, guys, a few years ago, in major college football, if you were getting an offensive line that were all near 300, that's pretty good. This is Division II, and we've seen the left tackle, the left guard, and the center are all near 300 pounds or better.
Oh, we know they're feeding them more than just corn out in Findlay.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then we have, let's see here. The right guard is number 68, and that is Clay Colvin. He is a sophomore, 6'2", 292-pounder from Kenton Ridge High School. And then number 67, Christian Olmstead. He is a junior, 6'4", 317 pounds from Simon Kenton High School in Florence, Kentucky.
Yeah, if you look at it, too, not only are they big, you have 3 sophomores, a junior, and a senior. So you only have one guy that you'll lose going into next season.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's a good foundation to build on, I'll tell you.
Definitely. So we will get a little break here. Rick, we have a ID coming up. Oh, okay. We're freelancing here. So we'll take a little break, and we'll be back as we will get some halftime statistics and be back in a few minutes. So enjoy the music at WZAA 106.9 FM LP in Jeffersonville, and, of course, on Campus Nation nationwide.
One 106.9 WZAA LP, Jeffersonville.
comments, critiques, suggestions?
He just got to. I always find the second half you get a little bit more comfortable because you become familiar with the kids' numbers.
Yeah.
They're throwing me off with all the changes because I only had on my depth chart. Well, I didn't get a depth chart, so I didn't know
Right.
before when I was making that up who was going to go. But that wouldn't have helped the season, especially with kicking. There's all sorts of weird stuff going on.
Are they didn't or did?
That's the nasty kid, right?
He's not playing.
Like John Williams, Steven Spielberg is recognized worldwide as a prolific American icon. For Jurassic Park, the two of them collaborated. Spielberg directed while Williams wrote the music score. And for the John Spielberg of Jurassic Park.
I see you at now. So that could be a big deal.
I don't expect to see Silva.
Or your Western. Yeah, look what's coming up. And places that are good. They're both 4-0.
I didn't see him have any napkins out.
He was they're very nice to plates and silverware.
Well, yeah, probably were.
I make sure I always get a napkin that way I have some fiber in my diet.
They're delicious.
Mm-hmm. Especially a little bit of mustard on it.
It's going to be dry though sometimes.
So how long you been battling the cold? A couple of days?
I must have started 2 days ago because I didn't feel very good, but I didn't have a cold. I just kind of felt.
Carol slipped something in his drink.
Yeah, she didn't want me to.
She kind of use a little better grade of strychnine.
She was one of the funny ones.
Now, what's happening with Fish and Mike?
They're moving this weekend.
Well, is it?
Where do they live now?
They live near Mount.
Concord.
That's right, yeah. Where are they moving to?
Somewhere near Charlotte, which isn't that far, but we still got to move everything.
No, but I mean, it's because we've been waiting to hear from Carol as to whether we're coming down this weekend to babysit the nuclear football.
Well,
Might happen.
The nuclear football, that's a good way of putting it.
here's what's going on. Tomorrow night, I'll be home tomorrow, so we won't be alone. Tomorrow night, I'm doing a game for Red High School game.
Okay.
Then I'm going to Athens on Saturday to do a game there, which is an afternoon game, so I won't be home until probably 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So I think Carol's worried about being by himself, for the majority of the weekend. So it's up to you if you want to come down Saturday. I mean, I'm sure he'd enjoy
You're
it.
saying you get home, there'd be a bunch of women in the house,
That's
party animals everywhere.
Yeah. He's one wild and crazy guy.
He's an unusual guy.
You can pick your nose, you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family.
No, he can't.
They had some students taking a tour with some, I guess, recruits or whatever, some other athletes.
Philadelphia, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah, they would sell them.
I mean, this is your home field. You can get much better.
No, because this is sort of in between
The
a
Pioneer
college
Spirit
football
Marching
stadium
Band.
and an NFL stadium.
Yeah,
It's
really
sort of
is.
in between. It's
Yeah,
not,
this is just a small NFL stadium.
yeah.
Now, do you know what they see here?
I think it's 22,000. Which I
Well, they're gonna add more seating. They're not done. There's-
Oh, they're not, okay.
They're building out on this side too, and
Was that the east side of the zone?
That was hot.
this construction program continues on.
Could be a franchise in our new league, Rick.
That's right. This would be perfect.
Enough people are staying away from the NFL games right now. I saw some pictures, man.
The Canton Cougars.
There you go. We'll get some actual cougars to be the mascot.
Bunch of old ladies out there on the field in their lingerie.
Yes, that's right. Lingerie football. It's the lingerie football league all over. Canton Cougars. Madison Mills, you know, you play the Canton Cougars.
Never too old to start your stuff.
Try to get down there again. Actually, one time to look at the hall. Greg and
Like
I,
I told you, soon I came down here about 32 years ago. We spent the day, we had a great time. And, but I know it's grown so much more. They've added a couple of additions since then.
Oh, the time I came, they were like 5 years old, about 30 years ago. I don't remember coming here.
I wonder how much of this stadium is actually Fawcett, still Fawcett Stadium, because it doesn't look.
I don't think there's any. I mean, this is all new concrete here. This is
Right.
not water cost. You know, the only thing is probably is faucet is probably the ground under the stadium.
Might be right.
I mean, everything's new.
Because Greg and I came down here 10 years ago,
I kind of look Lucy because it was a
and we came down to see Menor played Cincinnati Xavier state championship.
St. Max was that year. Was like he was
And the stadium was, it was still the old cement seats, you know, and you just
at
had
bleachers.
one of the coldest Venezuelans now.
That well, we went to the Mount Union National Semifinal in the morning, but then we went over to NASA to watch Coldwater and Youngstown fight phenomenal ending. That
Oh, yeah.
28-27, block extra 20. That's how they won. And we came over here, and it was sleet, snow, freezing rain. I remember walking back to the car, and like I was shaking so bad, like I had no muscle control. I'm like, it was bad.
It was. Hypothermia had said that.
Well, we were out. We were out in the cold for 12 hours.
About the Henning Shimmy.
It was bad. It was just sitting in the car. I just couldn't stop shaking.
Well, Mountain Union wasn't. It wasn't bad at Mountain
You
Union,
know, the sun was out. It was like 45, but it was sun was out.
but then we got over to Massillon to watch that game, and you know, it started getting colder. And then when we got over here, the sleet started coming down. And I had a poncho on, and the poncho had like a quarter inch of ice all over the poncho.
Wow.
That helps to insulate.
Yeah.
It did. It is.
It's that air between the poncho and the ice.
Yeah.
That was nasty.
I've been to some cold games, cold football games. One of the coldest games I ever went to, my wife and I went to the old Cleveland Stadium for opening day of the baseball season in '86. And Phil Necro was throwing his knuckleball in between snowflakes. I'll tell you, it was actually 10 or 15 degrees colder inside the stadium when we walked out.
That cement thing was unforgiving.
that we went to was really cool. Music City Bowl. That was cool too. Your buddy got a sweatshirt.
The guy who used to coach us in Florida lived in Rock Hill, or South Carolina, which wasn't far away from Nashville. And I told him, so he shows up, and it had been actually pretty warm during the day.
It was.
So his son has a sweater on, so John's just got like a light jacket, and it drops. It's in the 30s.
Oh, wow.
And those poor guys are just they're sitting there shaking during this game. You know, they didn't really care about either team that was in the game. So.
They're in survival mode.
I'll tell you what, the Kentucky fans were not really in pain that day.
Especially for football. In the end zone specifically, there were more brown bags than there were people.
One brother-in-law, my wife's sister's husband, we had Brown season tickets for 5 years, late 80s into the early.
Got about 20 seconds left here in the halftime. Malone kicking off from left to right. Findlay getting ready to return. Trying to look at the sideline there. I can't tell if I see Jervis or if Silva, excuse me. They were both injured in the first half. Silva went out after that second touchdown run. Jervis went out the end of the first half. Excuse me. I wouldn't be surprised if they're both sitting the rest of today, being 28-0.
And I am back. So we're starting the third quarter here. I apologize. I've been battling a cold, and it's killing me right now. But 28-0 at halftime as we ready for the Pioneers to kick off to the Oilers. And the ball travels down to about the 10-yard line, where Hill picks up the ball, and he gets it back to about the 21, and that's where the Oilers' offense will start. Jacob Hill has been a dangerous guy tonight, as he has 3 catches for 35 yards and a touchdown. He has 2 carries for 60 yards and has averaged 30 yards a carry, guys. So Jacob Hill has been a force, to say the least, for the Findlay Oilers. Okay, the Oilers have 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. They have a fullback in front of the quarterback. Bertkey gives it to Campbell, and Campbell squirts up to about the 26-yard line. And so the Oilers are looking at a 2nd and 5. And a nice situation to be in, guys, when you're 2nd and 5. There's a lot of options there. And we've got a Pioneer down on the field.
Pioneer, let me see. That is,
and we'll try to get a number for you guys.
He's in some pain.
Yeah.
Looks like one of the defensive linemen.
And his leg appears to be his right leg appears to be straight out to the right. So we're still not quite sure which one it is. And we had a visit from Heather Morgan there, as Rick was showing a Facebook shot of our camera girl, who is not with us tonight. So, still time out on the field. Guys, we got some college football some game in Columbus coming up this weekend. Somebody's playing.
Yeah, who is it?
Penn State. Yeah, I think Penn State's playing in the game.
Yeah. Ohio Dominican. Capital.
Otterbein.
Denison.
Not too far away.
Oh. Could it be that the Ohio State Buckeyes are playing?
The Ohio State Buckeyes. Well, this is going to be a big test for the Buckeyes. They played a lot better after they got dominated at home early on by Oklahoma. And Penn State, they got quite a ball club this year. So
I would say this, guys. Looking at 2014 when the Buckeyes lost to Virginia Tech and then went on to run the table, Oklahoma's a better football team than Virginia Tech is, the one that they lost to in 2014. So, although Oklahoma is, as they call it on the radio, Soonering right now. Okay, we're back to live action here. 2nd and 5 from the 26-yard line. And Bertkey gives the ball off to Campbell. Campbell's up to the 30, up to the 35, over to 35 to the 37-yard line. First down for the Oilers.
And that was defensive tackle Drew Shreve that did walk off under his own power after
And
being injured on the previous play.
of course, Drew Shreve has 39 tackles, 5 TFLs, and 2 sacks this year. They can ill afford to lose Shreve.
That's true. He's one of their defensive playmakers.
Bertkey in the offset pistol with Campbell to his right, fullback off to the right. Okay, Campbell moves up a little bit, almost parallel with Bertkey. Bertkey drops and looks, a little in route, and that was to number 8 for the Oiler offense, and that's Jason Moore, the leading receiver in the first half for them. Jason Moore had 5 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown in the first half. Jacob Hill, 3 for 35 and a touch. Jacob Bouchier, actually 1 for 17, and Jacob Alton 1 for 13. Okay, the Oilers are looking at a 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line.
The 2nd and 10, I believe, after that incompletion.
Oh, 2nd and 10. And Bertkey in the shotgun with Campbell off to his left. We have a little bounce motion going on there. And they give it to Campbell. Campbell's 35, tripped up, and gets out to probably about the 38, 39-yard line. So we'll be looking at a 3rd and 7. Bertkey's looking out.
It was Daniel TP that got an arm on him to slow him down and trip him up.
Daniel Teepe's had a nice little game for the Pioneers tonight.
Yes, he has. He's had a couple of nice hits in the secondary on some of the Findlay receivers. He's made a couple of nice tackles as well.
Okay, so the Oilers are in no big hurry, guys. This is not any type of hurry-up situation. They're looking over. They've got a malfunction with the chains.
Yeah, looking at the Findlay offensive line, they did make a few substitutions. At left tackle, you have number 66, Logan Bailey, taking over. 6'5", 290-pound sophomore from Tenora High School over in Defiance, Ohio, Northwest Ohio. We'll get you some more of the substitutions here in a minute. We're getting ready to go back to live play, but it looks like we have substitutions across the line. Number 54, Andrew Dickinson, has stayed in the game, but he has moved over to right tackle. But it looks like everyone else has been substituted.
Some young kids getting some valuable game experience here as they move into the championship round of the season. 3 receivers to the right. Campbell off to the left to Bertkey. Bertkey takes a straight drop. He looks. He gets out of the pocket. He's up to the 40, 45, out to the 48-yard line, enough for another Oiler first down. And, Bertkey doesn't look fleet of foot, but that was an effective run, guys.
Yeah, it was. He kind of looked like a stork on roller skates.
Kind of like
there,
Bernie
but,
Kosar when he played for the Browns.
Yeah, but he got the job done.
He sure did. Okay, so Bertkey in the shotgun with Campbell off to his left. Fullback to the right, 2 receivers right, and 1 to the left. More. Bertkey looks. He's looking. Wow. And gets the ball out to Moore. Moore still on his feet at the 5 and strides into the end zone for a touchdown for the Oilers. Pass was underthrown by Bertkey. Moore made a great adjustment on that. And Jason Moore, we can see why he has 10 touchdown catches this year, guys.
Yeah, he just outfought Jordan Johnson for the ball on that play.
It's nice to have a 6'3" wide receiver just to throw it up to. Even if you don't make a good throw, he's using his athleticism. Is able to
strong hands too, guys.
Sure.
He outfought the defender for the ball. He got his hands there around the football, pulled it away, and kept his balance. And he was at about the 5-yard line, turned in 2 strides. He was in the end zone for the Oilers' 34th point.
That's a great point, Bill. A lot of receivers nowadays, unfortunately, let the ball come to them instead of going out and getting it. You see a lot of drop passes at different levels of football nowadays because the receiver lets the ball come in on them before they actually catch it. They try to catch it with the body rather than the hands.
Right. That was a nice hands catch by Jason Moore. And the extra point by Alton is good, his 5th of the night. And for as what we could perceive as a backup kicker, because looking on the season, Chris Demir, 1 for 1 on field goals and 35 out of 38 on extra points. We know that he's had most of the duty kicking, so we're not sure why he's not playing tonight. But Jacob Alton has been a very adequate, to say the least, kicker here.
Yeah,
Sure.
we've done some high school games where we've seen Chris Demler and the Clinton Massey offense. He got a lot of practice in high school. Clinton Massey, if you're not familiar with them, they score a lot of points. They put a lot of points on the board the
They
last, the last 10, 12 years. Been very successful. So, we're hoping to see a local product. Unfortunately, we're not able to see him play today, but, he is their leading scorer when it comes to the kicking game.
Grant Loveridge is kicking off for the Oilers. Back deep is Ashton Doolin. And there's Loveridge's kick. He drives the ball to Doolin at the 4-yard line. Doolin gets the ball up to the 10, 15, 20, and he's met by 3 Oilers there, and that's about where the Pioneers will start, the 21-yard line, 1st and 10. And for those listening on WZAA, 106.9 LPFM in Jeffersonville, they will be moving from the left to the right.
Yes, and actually on that kickoff, it was number 91, Chris Demler, in the game. So they're getting all of their kickers into the game at this point.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
this is one of those games where when you're up big, you want to
Spread it around.
Number 1 goal is to win. Number 2 goal, keep everyone healthy. 3, make sure all the guys get some playing time.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? This goes to show the kind of depth that they have with their program. You want to develop those guys that are your second and third teamers and give them some action when you can.
So give to Garland. Garland is able to get the ball up about a yard out to the 23-yard line. So call it 2nd and 9 for the Pioneers. And I don't know, guys. Going in and adjusting in the second half, you've got to come up with something here. Garland, no doubt Garland's a decent running back, but you've got to come up with something that's going to free the offense up. And it's at this point, it's been about the same thing every time.
I think if you want to continue to use him, you got to start giving him some quick pitches. Let him try to get outside.
Get him outside the box.
Yeah.
Okay, Hobbs in motion, option pitch, and he's able to squirt up to about maybe a first. No, not quite a first down. They're going to mark him out at the 29-yard line. And Dakota Hobbs on the carry.
Yeah, that was number 17, Dakota Hobbs, who's had 10 receptions so far for 194 yards this season, an average of 19.4 yards per reception, a long of 78 yards.
Yep. And with 11:45 to go in the third period, a 2-by-2 set with the Pioneers in a pistol formation. Bunnell drops on a double slant, and it was intended for Ashton Doolin. And the double slant is always a good play. The inside man clears the linebacker out, and if the outside man can get a step, he's got a great possibility of getting the football.
Yeah, the All-American route is really tough to defend because you really have to decide which of those receivers are going to take away because it's very difficult to take away both with the depth of the receivers in the secondary. If you try to take away both, there is going to be a pick play on that.
Yep. And there's the kick by Marcus Moeller. Moeller drives the ball down to the 35-yard line.
Fair catch.
Where a fair catch is called for. And I think that is, if I'm not mistaken, Jacob Hill, who's been sort of a busy man tonight, guys. Hill's been running the football, catching the football, and returning the football.
Now we just need to see him throw it, see how he does.
See, well, you might as well, man. A little pistol action, and or get him back there in a wildcat and let him go.
For the hell of it, might as well try it.
Yeah, have a little fun. So 3 receivers to the right for the Oilers. Bertkey in the shotgun with Campbell to his right, a single receiver to the left, which would be Moore. And Bertkey calls for the ball. He looks it over, gets the snap, gives it to Campbell. Campbell to 35, 40, and squirts out to almost the 43-yard line. And Campbell, in the first half, we take a look at his numbers. Campbell had a nice first half there, I believe, guys. And with nearly 100, he's almost up to 100 yards. I think he has 91 at halftime. And, 97, 12 carries for 97. So he is over 100. And Bertkey gets out a quick screen to Alton, and Alton gets the ball up over to 50 into Pioneer territory at the 48-yard line. And so the Oilers will be in business with a first down at the 48. And as Greg was saying, there's an abundance of replacements in there on the front for the Oilers, getting a lot of their younger guys some playing time. Trips to the left, single receiver to the right is Moore. Bertkey, play action fake, gets it out to Hill. Hill's up to the 45, 40, cuts back, jitterbugs around, steps out about the 38 or 39-yard line. A little bit short of a first down, guys.
Yeah, his quickness is unbelievable in the open field. You can see he just a little stop and go there. Guys went flying by him. It's really hard to bring him down with how much quickness he has.
Jacob Hill's 5'7", 176-pounder from Detroit, Michigan, where he played for Country Day School. And he transferred, as Greg said, he was with Dino Babers at Syracuse.
I can see why he went to Syracuse. This kid does have the Division I talent. Just not very big, but he definitely has a talent.
2-by-2 set for the Oilers. Campbell off to the right of Bertkey and from the shotgun. They give it to Campbell. Campbell's a 40. He's up to the 30. Squirts down to the 26. And that should be enough for another first down, depending on where the mark is.
Yeah, I think so. Looks like they're going to...
Yeah, they're going to mark it short. They're going to say that he touched at the 29, so it'll be second and very short here, guys. And I'd almost rather give up the first down because second and 1 is a hard down to defend.
Oh, sure. The offense can do pretty much whatever they want.
Now,
second and short like that.
When Greg was coaching with me, Greg knows what I would do here in second and 1 is we'd be going air Coryell to the end zone on this one.
Right.
Yeah, we used to call that Billy ball because you never know what to expect. So, yeah, because really, if you have second and 1, you're at the 29-yard line, especially in high school, and a lot of teams don't have a very good kicker. You have the opportunity to throw it deep, get it third and 1, because you're probably going to go for it if you don't get it. So really, this is 3-down territory. Your whole playbook is wide open here, so
and
everything is available.
Yeah, and you put it up deep, and even if you don't complete the pass, maybe you get a pass interference to get you down there in the red zone.
Yeah.
This is where you take your money receiver like Moore, get him in isolation, 1-on-1. We've seen him come back and made a great catch on the football, and he has been the ISO receiver most of the night.
Yeah, we want to talk about another big young player, number 50, Eric Eldred's coming in at right tackle, 6'2", 350-pound freshman.
Ooh.
And he looks every bit of 350 pounds there, Greg, looking at him.
Yes, he does.
His right leg looks
Hey,
heavy.
Bertkey in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the right, gives to Campbell. Campbell is up to about the 27-yard line, and it's good for a first down for the Oilers.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised they didn't chuck it deep. They're keeping it on the ground, getting the first down. You get to a certain point in the game where the score is getting out of control, and you want to make sure that you're careful. You don't want to run up the score. You also want to make sure that you're running your offense. So it's that fine line to walk in. It's kind of those where you're darned if you do, darned if you don't.
Well, this is a kind of game where an offensive lineman loves.
Shotgun formation for the Oilers. 2 receivers to the right. Play action of Campbell. A quick pitch out there to number 30 for the Oilers, and that would be Jacob Boussier. And Jacob is able to pick up a first down as they marked him out. It looks like about the 16-yard line. And the Oilers are not in a hurry up, but they are still getting to the line and getting ready to go.
Kind of like a hurry up and wait offense.
A look offense.
Huddle. Yeah, they don't huddle, but they're not running at top speed right now.
Okay, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. And they give to Campbell. Campbell picks his way through. Oh, no, it's a keep by Bertkey, and Bertkey gets the ball down to the 5-yard line. He had me faked out on that one.
Me too. I was looking at Campbell.
And that should be good enough for a first down, which will make it first and goal for the Oilers.
You got to watch out for those Germans. They can be pretty tricky.
Yeah, he definitely was on that one. So, guys, we talked about the Buckeyes, Penn State. So, do the Buckeyes win here? Is JT good enough to pull this off?
JT's been playing a lot better the last several weeks, and he's needed to improve. A lot's going to come down to how well he plays this Saturday.
Very true. Campbell with the run, and he is down to the 1-yard line. Nice shift to the hips, a little jump cut. Starts out to his left, cuts back to his right and is able to get down to the 1 yard line, and it'll be 2nd and goal from the 1 for the Oilers here.
You know, I'm still surprised and disappointed somewhat that the Malone linebackers are still playing so far off the ball. I would have thought by now you would have had them move up and try to plug the gaps a little bit better, or at least try to slow these guys down a little bit.
Okay, receivers right and left. Bertkey goes to Moore. Moore, well, there was a lot of contact all the way around, but on both sides.
Yeah, that was uncatchable, though, I think.
Moore was running with his back to the end line and was trying to get separation, but the defender did a good job staying on him.
That's one of those where in high school and college they don't have the uncatchable rule, but it's kind of known that a pass interference for it to be called has to have an effect on the play, and that
Right.
did not have an effect on the play, so that's why they wouldn't throw that.
Motion to the left by Boucher. And Campbell, I think Campbell got in on that one. Yeah, 1 yard
yeah.
run for Michael Campbell. Finishes off the drive with 6:59 to go in the third quarter, pushing the score out to 41-0 in favor of the Findlay University Oilers. And the Oilers looked every bit the part here, guys, as they prepare for a championship matchup here in the very near future with Ohio Dominican, who is also undefeated in the league.
Yeah, who did their one loss come to? Do you know?
Were we talking about Findlay?
Yeah.
Ferris State. They lost 48-21 or 48-21, I believe, to Ferris State in week 2.
Who is nationally ranked, so
48-27, excuse me.
48-27.
Yeah, who's now ranked number 7. They were ranked number 2 at the time.
Okay.
So we've seen some good football teams. Greg, let me ask you this: we've seen Ashland, we've seen Ohio Dominican, we've seen Findlay. What's your takeaway from the 3 teams?
I think it's between Ashland and Findlay. Ashland dominated Dominican pretty handily. Dominican was in it for a little bit, but they weren't able to get a whole lot going. It's tough to gauge this Findlay team because they're playing a team with only 1 win. It's their first win in a while. So it's tough to gauge that, but just the domination up front, I think the Findlay offensive line is better than the Ashland defensive line. The Ashland defensive line was really strong. Now it'll determine with the Dominican game if they're able to get if Findlay's able to get their starting quarterback and a starting running back healthy. If they're not, then I would look to look to Dominican to be the favorite in that one.
Okay, Grant Loveridge kicks the ball off down to about the 27-yard line. Ooh, and then well covered by the Oilers.
Oh, what a hit.
And
That was number 41, Adam Recker from another Calvert Seneca from Tiffin, Ohio. And I couldn't tell who the other one was. They both hit him at the same time.
wow.
That was a big time hit.
As our good friend Dave Parrish would say, all you can say about that hit is wow.
Yeah, he was a real home wrecker. on
I
that one.
was definitely wrecked a lot of things. Okay, so the Pioneers take over on offense, and they will be on the 32-yard line. Okay. Bunnell is in the pistol. Hobbs deep motion. They give to Garland. And Garland is just, I don't know that he got much, guys.
Findlay has seen that play too many times. It's just going nowhere. At this point, Malone's really got nothing to lose by just trying to air it out and just see what happens. Maybe get a big play. If nothing else, get a little bit of a morale boost for their guys.
For sure.
It's tough being on the receiving end of a beating like this, and
Okay.
you look for little victories where you can get them.
And we tight end trades over to the. So we've got really, literally, a quads rollout pass by Bunnell, and it nearly picked off. And I think that is the all-conference player Aaron Ivory.
That would have been 4 interceptions, 4 touchdown
Pick
returns.
6 that was on its way. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good route combination. I think the quarterback made the wrong read. You had the number 1 receiver, the one split out furthest toward the sideline, ran a little arrow, sit down in the middle of the field, wide open. Quarterback tried to go outside and it was almost intercepted.
And the problem, of course, he's rolling to his right and hit the sit down. He would have to,
Plant.
has to set his feet and that was a difficult situation for him.
Right.
Okay. So we've got Ingram back in at quarterback. Ingram drops and looks, and he goes deep. And I think he has Doolin, and Doolin makes a beautiful
Nice
catch on the
by
ball.
Doolin.
And I think they're going to call maybe pass interference on top of it.
I think a face
Or
mask.
was it face mask?
Face
Yeah, I
mask,
think it was
yeah.
face mask. So Doolin catches the ball at about the 33-yard line of the Oilers. And we've got a little excitement here in Malone land.
Well, you know, let's. You got a couple of big guns. Let's try to shoot them. You know, try to get them downfield and maybe make a play like that.
Cam Ingram wound up the arm and got the ball down there. And Doolin
It's a nice throw and catch.
had to go up between two Findlay defenders to get that
you
ball.
know, that was pretty well covered, but Doolin did a nice job of working his way in between the two defenders and going up and getting that ball.
Yeah, they were going to call pass interference, and he just came across and said there was no penalty for pass interference on the play.
Doolin's been, he's been a performer every time we've seen this Malone team, and tonight's no exception for the Pioneers. Okay, pistol formation with two receivers to the right, single receiver to the left, and Ingram drops. He looks, he scrambles, and gets back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd and 10 at the 33-yard line of the Oilers. The Pioneers are moving from left to right on your radio dial if you're listening on WZAA 106.9 LPFM in Jeffersonville. So, guys, this is this is the type of drive where you find out things about your football team if you're the Pioneers. You're looking for the kids as you go towards the end of the season. What kids are we going to look at next year that we can depend on?
And you're looking for kids that aren't going to quit.
Exactly. And the ball, I think that Zimmerly, perhaps, that carried the ball, gets one of his rare carries. Yes.
That was an example of what we were talking about, though. He never gave up. I mean, he didn't get much out of it, but he kept trying to struggle for that extra yard.
So Zimmerly picks up one, which will put it at 3rd and 9. And so Cam Ingram, I think 36 yards, guys, is the limit of the field goal kicker, Moeller. So they're going to have to pick up another 10 yards to really have a decent shot if they have to kick a field goal. Ingram drops. He looks. He's chased out of the pocket. And it's a fumble. And it's picked up by number 10 for the Findlay defense.
Isaac Miles, linebacker.
And Isaac Miles. Nice pickup there. Nice. Just a good defensive play by Findlay all the way around there, guys.
Yeah, it was.
Now, what's interesting about that is, I believe, their 9th fumble recovery of the season. The first time they've had any yardage.
Really?
Every fumble recovery, they've had 0 yards. That was the first one that they were able to gain some yardage on.
So most of those have been interior recoveries.
Or their 11th fumble recovery.
11th. Okay, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Bertkey in the offset pistol. Number 47 is in the game, and that's Nate Schlegel. And they give it to Schlegel, and Schlegel gets the ball up to about the 49-yard line. Now, on the roster, and I don't know if Schlegel, I'm assuming he has running back experience, Schlegel is listed as a tight end.
Yeah, 5'11", 230. So he may be one of those H-back type of kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Can play the fullback, can play
Tight
tight
end.
a little bit of everything.
Right. So Schlegel is he's a round mound to rebound there.
Yeah, but he did get slammed down on that
And
one.
he got Schlegeled on that one.
Number 77 coming off the field with a little injury. Jarrett Sitton, 6'2", 276-pound freshman from Paulding, Ohio.
The Paulding Panthers.
Paulding Panthers making an appearance.
And our good buddy, former coaching associate Dave Parrish, who's out in Kansas now, visiting Dorothy and Toto.
No place like home.
And
That's right.
two receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and Bertkey gives the ball to Schlegel again. And I wonder if he's related to Anthony Schlegel. You think?
Well, if
There's
they
difference.
are, they're from completely different parts of the world. One's from Texas, one's from Loveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
So it's possible.
Well, maybe
possible.
Anthony Schlegel lives in Loveland now. Who knows? Of course, I think this guy's a little bit too old to be his son.
Well, he may have escaped from Texas. You never know.
You never know.
Although
So-
Texas is a fine state.
It is.
But you know how you find Texas from here?
How's that?
You go west until you smell it and south until you step in it.
Three receivers to the right, one to the left.
Little levity.
Berkey takes a straight drop, one-step drop, and nice throw. A little steam on that one as he gets the ball to number 42. And we've got all sorts of clean jerseys running around. Nathan Denzel. Nathan is a sophomore, 6'1", 233-pound tight end from Scioto in Dublin, Ohio. Little school district.
Yes, Dublin Scioto. They've got several kids from Scioto High School on this roster.
2x2 set for the Oilers.
There's a 2x2 set.
And Schlegel powers, and I literally powers the ball inside the 30-yard line.
That kid's a load.
He is.
Yeah.
My goodness.
He is.
He's every bit of that 230 running downhill.
Yeah.
I think it might be a little bit bigger than 230. I mean, it might be approaching that 235, 240 range here.
Depends
Reminds me a little bit of Don Nottingham.
Depends on what.
bowling
Yeah,
ball.
exactly. He does look like
He
Don
runs
Nottingham.
Same type of running style and same type of build.
Sure does. Two receivers to the right, a fullback to the right, and the back is offset to the right of Bertkey. Could be a power play, sure enough. And they give it to Schlegel again, and Schlegel pounds the ball to the right for about 2-3 yards. And it's going to be...
Moving the chains.
Yeah, they're moving the chain. So it was enough for a first down. And so it is 1st and 10 with 1:20 to go in the third period. It's 42-0 in favor of the Findlay Oilers. Bertkey gets ready for the snap. Schlegel offset to his right and a offset pistol, two receivers to the right. Schlegel gives the ball, or Schlegel with the give. He's up to the 20, over the 20-yard line, down to the 19.
Tell
And
you what, for a big kid, he does have a move or two.
And,
Yeah,
and he
he
falls
does.
forward too, and that's
Right.
he has definite forward momentum even after he gets hit. Which for a running back, that's what you look for. You don't want the guys that that
Well-
hit the pile and go backwards.
Well, Ryan Weber seemed to have him squared up, but he broke through, broke that tackle.
Yep.
Picked up an extra 4 or 5 yards.
Okay, Bertkey gives it to Schlegel again. Schlegel up to the 15 and is met there by looks like number 1 for the Pioneers. And that ball is now to the 14-yard line and another first down for the Oilers. And they're just methodically punching it down the field here, guys, as the clock moves down to 15 seconds to go in the third quarter. And I suspect that we're going to see the Oilers run the quarter out, and we'll be switching field
Yeah.
position here.
Perfect time for a little bit of a break for Mr. Schlegel. He's going to need a breather. Doesn't have to take a play off. I would imagine they're going to continue giving him the football and see if he's able to finish off this drive.
They're going to
think
pound
so.
the rock with Schlegel there.
I think so too. Yeah.
So guys, we were talking about the Buckeyes. You got to think that Ohio State is going to be highly motivated in that game coming up this weekend, and I look for the Buckeyes to have a good performance. I think JT has got back on his game. They're starting to understand the Kevin Wilson offense.
Well, and very rarely do the Buckeyes seem to lose to the same team 2 years in a row. I know
Hasn't
they
happened.
they owe Penn State from last year.
Yeah, and there's some big games out there. Oklahoma State travels to Morgantown
Right.
in the Big 12, which is going to be a big game there. I think West Virginia doesn't get the publicity, but definitely is a decent football team.
Yeah, they're pretty good this year. The team out of the Pac-12, or I'm sorry, I keep calling it the Pac-12. With all these numbers and conferences, all the realignment they've
Sure.
had, I get them mixed up.
Numbers
The-
don't mean anything. Look at the Big Ten.
The
Big Ten is
the
what,
big,
14
the
or
Big
16
12
or
that actually,
26?
Yeah.
the Big 12 that has 10 teams. The TCU Horned Frogs, Mark Scovaner, if you're listening, those TCU Horned Frogs are making some noise again.
Okay, the Oilers have three receivers to the right. Schlegel
Mark,
offset to the right. And they give, play action to Schlegel. Bertkey throws. Oh, a little bit late on
Good coverage, though. Good coverage over there by number 1. That was Christian Matthews.
intended for Darnell Fields, the senior wide receiver out of Romulus, Michigan. We know something about Romulus, Greg. Don't we?
We've been there once or twice. Now, I will say, I'm sure Mr. Schlegel is a team player, but I'm sure he's okay that they didn't complete that pass. He wants to go into the end zone.
Okay, so 2nd and 10. They give the ball to Schlegel. He's up to the 10, and he powers down to the 9. And he made him pay for that 5-yard gain there.
You sure did.
If you're going to tackle Schlegel, you're going to feel the brunt of it.
Yeah.
Schlegel's going to have a nice quarter and a half running the football here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, he's telling Silva and Campbell, hey,
Hey,
I'm the guy, guys.
Hey, I'm the guy.
I'm here.
You guys just stay on the bench. I'll go there and do this. So we've got 3rd and 5 from the 10-yard line, and we have an offset pistol to the left. Bertkey gets the ball, gives it to Schlegel again. Well, Schlegel to the 5, powers through down to the 1. I think they're going to mark him at the 1.
Yeah, his knee was down about the 1.
Wow, he got stuck at he got stuck at the 5-yard line.
He had a nice spin move to break
He
loose. He
spun off, and then
They gave it to him. They said he was in.
wow. So Nate Schlegel with an impressive run there, guys. I mean,
He's now up to 9 carries for 47 yards and 1 touchdown. Wow. Not a bad drive.
and there's still 14:08 to go in this quarter.
Yeah.
So I mean, he might push the 100-yard mark if he gets another couple drives in. So extra point coming, and we've got Jacob Alton is going for extra point number 7, and he is 7 for 7, guys.
I just wanted to say thank you to SID over here at Malone getting us the stats.
Mike Liggett.
Mike Liggett, yeah, thank you very much for that. We greatly appreciate it. End of third quarter stats. Score 42-0. Now it is 49-0. 27 first downs for Findlay, 2 for Malone. Rushing yards, 308 on 38 carries for Findlay, 32 yards on 21 carries for Malone. Passing yards, 227 to 36. So going into the fourth quarter, 535 yards of offense for Findlay, 68 for Malone. Like we said earlier, that's just really difficult to come back from.
Okay, we've got a station ID, guys, while we got a break.
106.9 WZAA LP, Jeffersonville.
Okay, we're back as the Findlay Oilers get ready to kick off with a 49-0 lead at 14:08 to go in the fourth period. Ashton Doolin, who has been extremely busy tonight returning kicks, and Doolin has 3 kick returns for 54 yards. If you look at it on the offensive side, and Doolin
fumbles it out of bounds.
Fumbles the ball down his leg, out of bounds, and they're going to mark that ball at, looks like they're giving it to him at the 15-yard line. So that's where the Pioneers will start with it. Xavier Garland, 24 yards on 12 carries. Zane Bunnell, 3 carries for 11 yards. Dakota Hobbs, 1 carry for 6 yards. And John Zimmerly, 1 carry for 1 yard. So not a lot there. Passing-wise, 36 yards for the Pioneers. So they really need to get something going here, Tim, try to get some kind of drive. Okay, Hobbs comes in motion, jet sweep to Hobbs, and
what a hit out there on the right flat.
And so Hobbs on a jet sweep is stuck over at about the 16-yard line. And so it'll bring up 2nd and 9.
Findlay really close quick on that because when it first started to develop, it looked like he had a hole there. Looked like he could have gone for 5 or 6 yards at least. And
for sure.
They shut it down.
3 receivers to the left. Pistol formation for the Pioneers. 2nd and 9. They give the ball to Garland. And Garland is able to pick up about 5 yards on that, Tim. Yeah. That was a nice little – the offensive line got a little push there.
They sure did. And he had some desire there, too. I mean, he just put his head down and just stuck right in there. He hit the hole pretty quick, and he just kept the legs going.
So Garland gets the ball out to the 21. 3rd and 4 for the Pioneers. Big time here, Tim. They've got to keep the chains moving here. I mean,
sure.
The only way you're going to practice your offense is to possess it longer.
That's right.
3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Bunnell drops and looks. He throws the ball out, gets it out to Hobbs,
All right.
and Hobbs has got the first
Got
down.
the first down, yep.
Dakota Hobbs gets just over the 25-yard line, which is enough for a first down, and move the chains for the Pioneers.
All right.
That was a poor spot, by the way, by the officials.
That was. I think he got an extra half a yard or better on that.
Yeah, I think he was closer to the 26 than the 25,
Right,
and that's
right.
not the way they see it. But it's still first down either way. 3 receivers to the right for the Pioneers, 1 to the left. Bunnell, quarterback. They bring Hobbs in motion. A little option, but no, they give it to Garland. And Xavier Garland gets the ball up for about 3 to the 28-yard line.
That's 3 hard-fought yards for Garland. There's one young man that definitely has not quit.
Yeah, that is true. He has run the ball hard every time. Doesn't
Sure
get a
has.
lot for it, but has continued to try to move the football for the Pioneers.
Well, we talked about this earlier, Bill. At this point, you want to see what kind of heart your players have.
Find out who you can build around.
Sure, exactly.
2-by-2 set. Hobbs in motion. Jet sweep to Hobbs. Hobbs gets it up to the 30, over to 30 to 34-yard line. And really was just about a step away from going a long ways there, guys.
Sure was. Let's see where they marked this now. I think they shorted him on the mark on the spot that time too.
Yeah, I think it was closer to 35.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought he had a first down.
Okay, so 3rd and 1 from the 34-yard line. And this would be one of the rare times, if they're able to do this, that they've picked up consecutive first downs here.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, trips to the right. We've got John Zimmerly to the right. Pistol formation in the backfield. Hobbs in deep motion. They give the ball to Garland. And Garland, on the second effort, I think Garland was...
I think he might have gotten it.
Yeah, I think if they mark this right, he did get to the 35, which should be enough for a first down.
Yeah.
And they're signaling it. So consecutive first downs for the Pioneers, who, struggled with only 2 first downs in the entire game so far. So they've doubled their first down output on this drive.
And they're at the 35 right now. They've gotten a little bit of rhythm this last couple of drives here, these last couple of first downs. I might consider play action on this. First down, but still.
Yep. 2 receivers to the right. We've got a stack I formation out of the pistol. And then they give it to Ashton Doolin. And Ashton Doolin is able to get the ball up to about it's either going to be the 39 or 40-yard line.
And Ashton made a nice move there to shake loose of that defender on the outside and pick up an extra 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, they're going to actually mark it at the 41, so nice run by Ashton Doolin. And Ashton is a do-it-all kind of player for them. He's their leading receiver, but he does have quite a few yards this year as a runner. Okay, he has actually taken a look at
there's a nice burst up the middle by
Xavier Garland.
Xavier Garland, yeah.
Another first down, so 3 consecutive first downs here. Doolin has 127 yards this year rushing, and he has 11.5 yard per carry average. So he is dangerous when they get the ball in his hands.
I'll tell you, J.D. Stamper, the center, did open up a nice hole for him that time. He hit it real quick and got a nice gain out of it.
Okay. Zane Bunnell in the pistol. 3 receivers to the left. He looks. He gives it to Garland again, and Garland's able to get the ball forward for about another 2 or 3 yards. Call it 2. No, call it 1. 2nd and 9. We see a lot of we see a mix of younger kids and older kids in there for the Findlay defense now. And much like they did on offense, they're getting their depth playing time. And, of course, we know the team down the road from here, the Mount Union Purple Raiders, are famous for getting a lot of playing time for their young kids. That's why they reload.
Sure.
Hobbs on a run up to almost the 46-yard line of the Oilers, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 7. We were talking about this, guys. Mount Union playing 14 or 15 games for the last 20 years, their freshmen, by the time they graduate, will have played 2 entire seasons more than the other teams they're playing. So, how do you make up for that? The practice time that these kids get, it's a machine. And once you get that thing going, if you're able to do that, you just keep on reloading.
Exactly. I mean, and the system that they got going perpetuates itself.
3 receivers to the left, pistol formation. Bunnell drops, gets the ball out, and hauled down there. And is Dakota Hobbs, who caught the ball. And they're to the 45-yard line of the Oilers. 4th down, 44-yard line. 4th down, and it's, I'd say it's go time here, guys. 49 to nothing.
I would too.
But they have elected to kick, so Marcus Moeller is out to kick for the Pioneers. And back deep, we'll see if I can get a look at the number there for the Oilers. Is that 5? Is that Kosak? Okay, here comes the kick. Moeller, a little pooch kick, gets the ball down to the 15. It rolls down to the 10, and that is Kosak, and Kosak is able to take it from the 15 out to about the 24-yard line, a nice little 9-yard return, and the Oilers will take over there. So will we see more of Mr. Schlegel, guys?
I think so. Either that or if they got somebody else behind him that they want to give a little playing time to.
Looks like they've got number 47, Nate Schlegel, still in the game.
So Schlegel is offset to the left to Bertke. Okay, Bertke has receivers split right and left. Fullback lined up just behind the line, behind the right guard. And they give the ball to Schlegel, and Schlegel does a head over heels 4-yard, 5-yard gain out to about the 29-yard line. And they're going to keep on feeding the rock to Schlegel here.
This kid's a load, I'll tell you. He's also showed some good deftness of foot with that spin move down about the 5-yard line, their last drive.
He's up to 53 yards rushing. The counter is on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Schlegel offset to the right of Bertke and give to Schlegel again, but the Pioneers kind of smelled that one out, and they drop him for a couple-yard loss back to the 27-yard line.
We're down to 51 now.
So 3rd and 7 for the Oilers. And nobody's in a big hurry here with 6:06 to go in the 4th quarter. It is 49 to nothing in favor of the Findlay Oilers. No, they're asleep at the wheel over there. 1 receiver to the left. Fullback moves in behind the right tackle. And Bertke with Schlegel set off to his left side. He gets the ball out to number 42 for the Oilers. And that
Nathan Denzel.
Nathan Denzel. I wonder if he's any relation to Denzel Washington.
He may be related to a Denzel that I work with. But.
So, he's from Texas, right? That's all we need to know. 1 receiver to each side. Bertke in the pistol. Schlegel offset to the left. Fullback is now behind the left guard and tackle, and they give it to Schlegel, and Schlegel gets about 1 yard, maybe 1 yard. We'll be generous. We'll give him 1. So 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. And obviously the Oilers can burn about, pretty close to, they're getting about 45 seconds per play here, guys. So if they can pick up another first down, we could see the last drive.
Yeah.
Bertke in the shotgun. Schlegel off to his left. 1 receiver right, 1 receiver left. Play action. Drops the ball. And dropped the ball off to the fullback, Denzel, to the flats, but incomplete. And just a second earlier, and the Pioneers could have had a turnover there.
Sure.
Yeah, pass was tipped at the line of scrimmage by the defensive end. Was able to get off the offensive lineman's block. Pushed him down, didn't let him get to his legs, stood up and tipped the pass, almost intercepted, like you said.
Yep. Okay, Bertke in the gun. Schlegel off to his left. A little bit of a look offense here. Looks over the sideline. Splits to the right and left with the fullback lined up behind the right guard and right tackle. Play action fake. Finds the tight end.
Oh, that was a nice catch.
Number 93. We'll get his name here in a second.
Michael Colden, 6'3", 257-pound freshman from
Bowling Green.
Ohio.
So that moved the chains for the Oilers. We didn't think we would see him throw much at this situation, but it looks like now. I think now is this still Bertke in here, guys? I thought that might be number 16. It is number 16.
There's Parker Gadula from Chagrin Falls, Kenston High School.
All right, my alma mater.
Blue Bombers.
That's right. Schlegel picks up a first down.
Little known fact, Dallas Cowboys got their helmet design from Kenston.
We like to believe that.
And if you believe that one, I got a bridge this side.
But I will tell you a little history about that after this play. We have receivers to the right and left, and we have the back. And is that still our buddy here? And it is, but they've kind of caught on to Schlegel.
Nice job of stopping them at the point of attack there.
You know,
So Parker Gadula.
Looking up and down this Findlay roster, as good as they are, the fact that they have so many freshmen and sophomores playing is really unbelievable. This team is good and they're young.
Well, it's a tribute to the recruiting efforts of the Findlay coaching staff to be able to get this young group in here because they're going to be formidable for a few years to come here.
And that was Josh Correll that came up and corralled him.
Okay, receivers to the right and left. Gadula in the shotgun. Gives the ball to Schlegel, and Schlegel kind of trips up himself as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. So 2:22 to go
Now,
in the fourth quarter.
The little known fact you're talking about with the Blue Bombers logo and the Dallas Cowboys, would that have to do with the helmet design and the letters from the Cowboys year in and year out? Receiving permission?
Yes, it would. Kenston had to get written permission from the Dallas Cowboys to use their helmet. And at that time, only Kenston and Dallas were the only two schools that had the blue helmets with the blue star.
Oh, okay.
So nowadays, the copyrights are a little bit more relaxed. Okay, Gadula gets out, runs the ball up to gets in the stat book there as he picks up about 3 yards. And so they'll be faced with fourth down. I imagine they go for it here, guys. There's no sense in even kicking right now. I don't think the punter's been out there the whole game for them, so why start now?
Sure. That was a nice tackle by Matt Ramsey, by the way, getting him around the ankles.
No, one kick. They had one for
52 yards. That's pretty good average.
Yeah, 52 yards a kick. I'll take that.
Yeah, here, if you kick it 52 yards, you're going to get a net of 32 because it's going to go in the end zone.
Might as well go for it. So Gadula, he looks. He's going to get a chance to throw. He gets out of the pocket. He rolls to his right. Oh, and number 42, Nathan Denzel, almost comes down with that, guys.
Daniel TP again making another nice play.
Well, in a minute here, guys, we're going to have to make that choice. Players of the game for both squads. And I don't know. Findlay's got a lot of possibilities out there. Jervis played a good game. I would say Silla could have been the way he started.
Bertkey came in relief at the end of the first half, did a really nice job leading the team in the second half. You have Mike Campbell, who came in 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, we didn't really see, not one player really stood out. They just all did their job.
Yeah, but the defense stood out, yeah.
Absolutely.
And maybe we're going to give the Campus Nation Player of the Week for the first time. Maybe it'll be a group award. Maybe it will be the Findlay defense.
Now, as a former defensive coordinator, I'd be okay with that. As a former offensive line coach, you could give it to the Findlay offensive line.
Sure, that's true. They were dominant.
And
yeah.
what's the rushing totals there, Greg?
Campbell, 20 carries, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns.
No, I mean for the team.
Going into the third quarter, we had 308 yards on 38 carries, so almost 10 yards a carry.
And probably they'll probably be close to 400 when we get the updated stats.
And going into the fourth quarter, there was only a loss of 1 yard.
Wow.
1 tackle for loss for 1 yard. That's it. That's impressive.
That's
Well,
very impressive.
So I would say, well, we'll get to this in a second as we have 1:03 to go in the game. Cam Ingram is in a quarterback, gives the ball to, I believe it's Garland. Garland is
Xavier Garland, yeah.
Xavier Garland stopped at the line of scrimmage. So, guys, Saturday we will be at Hocking College down in Nelsonville as the Hawks take on the Hurricane of Lewisburg College, who is looking for an undefeated season and a possible bowl berth.
Wow.
So join us on Campus Nation. Kickoff is at 1, pregame at 12:30.
If you want to see some good talent, come out and watch these two teams. I haven't seen Lewisburg play, but I have seen the Hocking Hawks play, and there is some really good Division I talent that they have on that roster right now.
Yeah. Junior college football is not well known in this state, but there are some good players out there. Hobbs on an option, and he's dragged down about the 41-yard line for about a 5-yard loss. And 10 seconds to go in the game, guys. Fourth quarter, 49-0. It's been all Oilers. And
why don't you just air it out?
I mean,
throw one up, see if you can get lucky.
Findlay, guys, I tell you, they're impressive. I'd like to see that game with Ohio Dominican and see how that works out. But that'll be for the championship in the Midwest Conference, the Great Midwest Conference. And we will see how that plays out here in the coming weeks. Of course, we will be on the 4th of November. The game of the week will be the Muskingum Muskies at the Wilmington Quakers, and that is the final with the score 49-0 in favor of the Findlay Oilers over the Malone Pioneers. So, guys, duty. I guess Greg brings up a great point, averaging 10 yards a carry. The Findlay offensive line of Andrew Dickinson, Andrew Allen, Neil Davis, Clay Colvin, and Christian Olmstead are the players of the game as for a tremendous job. And it was really difficult. The Findlay defense could have been there. Obviously, they had a bunch of individual guys. The Jason Moore at wide receiver was impressive. Rise Jervis was impressive. Dowda Silla was impressive. Jacob Hill was impressive. They're just an impressive football team all the way around.
But you know what it comes down to? That offensive line helped create all of that.
Yep.
I mean, they set the tone early. They came in. They took no prisoners. They dominated, and they allowed Findlay to do whatever they wanted offensively.
They did.
And if you look at even on defense, Tyler Long, 7 tackles, 1.5 TFLs. Isaac Miles, 5 tackles. Johnny Hopkins are all do everything defensive end. 4 tackles, 1 sack, 2 TFLs. I mean, every guy came out, did their job, and when everybody performs at this peak level, this Findlay team is going to be tough to beat, and you're going to see a stat line like we saw tonight.
Shout out to Rob Keys, the head football coach. Rob's been there for 7 years. He's been involved with the program for a long time, and Rob's done a nice job. This is a proud program. If people aren't familiar, Findlay has several NAIA national titles. I mean, They are a formidable program. It's been kind of dormant for probably the better part of 20 years now since they won their last national title.
I don't know. Like they're on the road back.
Yeah, they're on the road back. A good performance. And for the Pioneers, as we said last time we were here, all you have to do is look out the window and see the facility here. And, when you're going to smaller schools, guys, it's not that you're going to be on ESPN. You're going to pay good money to go to school, hopefully get a little scholarship money. And a lot of it comes down to what am I getting for the money I'm paying?
Right.
And we look out this window, And if you were going to play college football, there would be a lot worse places to play.
Oh, this is a great venue to play in, definitely. With all that they've done over the years to rebuild this stadium and expand the Hall of Fame. I mean, playing college football at any level, high school football at any level, right at the site of the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Doesn't get much better than that. That's right.
Yeah, so I would say, looking at this, we'll be back to see the Pioneers next year. Our thanks to Mike Liggett, the SID. Mike, thanks for everything. Sets us up with stats, the information before the game. Of course, always take care of us from beginning to end. First-class organization for the Malone Pioneers, and we expect to see better things here in the near future out of them. We move on, as I say, next week, or not next week, but Saturday. This, of course, is a special night broadcast, special Thursday night broadcast of the Campus Nation Game of the Week. We will be doubling up as we go to Nelsonville to watch the Hocking Hawks take on the Lewisburg College Hurricane. The Hurricane are going for an undefeated season and a possible bowl berth, so it'll be a big game. And both teams are loaded with talent, so we'll see that.
Ought to be a good one.
November 4th, we'll have the Muskies of Muskingum traveling to Wilmington College, who will be looking for their third win this year, which, Rick, it's been a long time since 3 wins has been in the win column there for the Quakers. So we'll be going there. And then on the last weekend of the regular season, we will be in Cleveland for the big one, and the Sports Planet crew will be reassembled there as we see the John Carroll Blue Streaks host the Mount Union Purple Raiders, the number 2 team in the country. A game that we've been looking forward to since the beginning of the year, which is ironically the last game of the year. Mm-hmm. And we'll see if the Purple Raiders can exact some revenge on John Carroll.
Well, they've developed quite a rivalry over the last 10 or so years, those two schools. So it should be an interesting contest.
Yeah, before we get too far, we forgot to make the player of the game for Malone. So,
we did?
Yeah.
Here's the stats, guys. Final
Okay,
stats. Thank you, Mike. Mike Liggett.
Looking at it, the final stats, the defense was out there a lot for Malone.
Right.
I think they gave it everything they had. They didn't back down. They didn't quit. Looking at the stat line, number 47, Ryan Weber. Let me get where he's from here. He's a 5'11", 210-pound senior linebacker from Loudonville High School, Butler, Ohio. Finished the game with 19 tackles and a half of a tackle for a loss. I tell you what, in a losing effort, when you're on the field as long as they were, to be able to make 19 tackles and half of it behind the line of scrimmage, that's a pretty solid game for him.
Yeah, definitely.
So Ryan Weber, congratulations. His 19 tackles will get him the Campus Nation Game of the Week, Player of the Week here for the Malone Pioneers. And, of course, as we talked about earlier, the Findlay offensive line just dominated the game. Greg, what was the finals as we have the final stats on the game now?
We have 30 first downs for Findlay, 5 for Malone. Rushing, 331 on 47 carries, 62 on 33 carries for Malone. Passing yards, 247 to 42. Total offense, 578 yards on 75 plays for Findlay, 104 yards on 43 plays for Malone. Time of possession, just like you think it would, 34 minutes, 20 seconds for Findlay. Third down, 7 of 11. That's tough. If you're not able to get the other team off the field on third down, that's really difficult. Red zone scoring chances, Findlay, 6 touchdowns and 7 opportunities. So when they got there, they scored majority of the time. Looking at the rushing for Findlay, Campbell was the leading rusher, 137 yards on 20 carries. Schlegel did get 56 carries on 15 yards. 4 rushing touchdowns total. Xavier Garland, 41 yards on 17 carries. No touchdowns, 2.4 average. 11 was the longest. Passing for Malone, 4 of 10 for 42 yards. Berkey was 6 of 12 for 105 for Findlay. Jervis, 10 of 12, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a pretty good completion percentage if you ask me.
Sure is.
Looking at the defense, the tackles, Terrence Smith led Findlay with 8 tackles, Tyler Long 7, On the other side, like we mentioned, Ryan Weber with 19, Josh Carell 12, Daniel Tepe 11. So we heard those three names called a lot tonight. They were all over the field. They were making plays. Just unfortunately, they weren't able to get Findlay off the field enough to make it much of a game here in the second half.
Very true. So, everyone, from the Hall of Fame, my thanks to Tim Fillinger, Greg Henning, Rick Phillips. Of course, I'm Bill Raybeck, and we thank you for listening to the Game of the Week here on Campus Nation and WZAA 106.9 LPFM in Jeffersonville. Good night, everyone.
Good night.